Hello. Hello, welcome. Happy 50,000 followers. I don't know what that is. Hello, everybody. I gotta pause for a second. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I wanted to come on at 6 because I said I was coming on, but I'm kind of not, I wasn't quite ready. Oh, hey, Florida, Maryland. Yeah, I want people to send healing light to Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles. But also I want us to send rain. So we usually get rain this time of year. And we could really use some rain right now with all these fires. So in your, your meditation, if you can visualize rain coming to Los Angeles, that would be great. Hey, Connecticut. Hey, Sydney, Colorado, Philly. Good to see you here. We're gonna have we're gonna have a guest tonight. I think I invited a couple people, so some other dreaming women. I invited Jana Key. I think she might make it, and then I invited a couple of others. Oh, did I remind? I keep inviting Gia Prism, but it hasn't worked out yet. But I hope she gets the notification about tonight. So welcome, everybody. Shari Kale is asking about the fires. So I did a video on this, but it's on my YouTube because I didn't know if I could post it here, about who set the fires. The big picture, having to do with the fires and how it's connected to the joust. Okay, someone said they tagged Gia, Mimi, and Dana. Okay, yeah, Mimi, I recognize that name. I don't think I've connected to her personally, but she would certainly be welcome to join me. I know she's another dreaming woman. Someone said they've been posting how to help animals out in California. So the domestic goddess, she says she has information on her account. And I don't know if I have any moderators tonight. So I have a bunch of moderators that help me out from time to time. I don't know if any of them are here tonight because, I'm sure they have lives. They can't be here every night. I did take a couple of nights off from doing my own lives. I was on Sky Girls Live on Thursday night, Friday night. I don't know. All these days blend together. And then I took a day off. I did one day I think I did one yesterday with no lives because I was really tired. I've been really tired because of these fires. I haven't been sleeping well. Oh my God. Becky said she's getting follow requests from a certain somebody. That's weird. On this app? Oh. Got a text from you asking for a donation. No, I'm not sending you texts asking for a donation. Um, I do have my, I think my Cash App. I need to add my Venmo back onto my account. So I do that so if people think they're sending me money, they can check. I have been getting, some people did send me money thinking they were getting a reading, and so I just send it right back. But then at least they don't lose their money by sending it to someone else, right? So I'm okay with that. But then yesterday, I want to say thank you. I can't remember the name now, but I got an actual donation yesterday from somebody. I got a couple of donations this week, which was really nice because I don't ask for donations, but of course, if someone wants to send me some, that's great. I'm not monetized, so I'm not making money off of any of this TikTok stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of fake accounts, and please report them. I usually can't report them because they block me, and then I did actually report one this week, and TT said, oh no, we're not going to do anything. So I don't know. So yeah, happy 1/1. We did a little meditation today, and we're going to do another one tonight. And then I'm going to add some, I'm going to talk also just about the stories. And am I safe? I am. Thank you, Shari, for asking. I'm in a part of Los Angeles which is further away from the two major fires. So I feel like I'm not at risk. I do have a close family member, my god sister, who lost everything, that whole family, and so I've been trying to support them. And I have other friends who have lost their houses. And so it's been really, really hard. And yes, this is a beautiful community, Beanie. I agree. I just love this community. And I really appreciate all of you coming on here and this time that we get to share together. I don't know if I live close to you. I'm not going to discuss where I live. I'm in LA County, and I'm safe. Yeah, someone said, "Oh, is there anything we can do to donate to them?" They have a GoFundMe. My god sister has a GoFundMe, and I need to figure out how to post it because I should probably add it to my. So I finally just added my Linktree to TikTok. I didn't realize it wasn't in there because I got a lot of social media accounts, and so I just put my Linktree in, and I did that mainly because I have a class coming up. I have a free event coming up on ancestral medicine, and you can sign up for that on my Linktree. Put the link here for the GoFundMe. Oh, okay. But see, I don't even know how to. I don't even see a place for me to add comments. I've been doing lives all week and I still haven't figured out. Oh, here it is. I haven't figured out how to add a comment. I'm going to add a comment. Let me see if I can get the GoFundMe. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to my live. We're going to do some storytelling tonight. I'm going to answer some questions. And then we're going to have a guest, another dreaming woman. And then we're going to do a meditation. So let me try to find this. And then I'm getting other GoFundMes from other family friends. It's just so sad. It's so sad. So yeah, we're all trying to do what we can to help out the people that are really suffering, Okay, yeah, I should have had this ready. It's like I can't search for everyone, so many people. Okay. But what's great about my God family's GoFundMe is that it has pictures of the family and the house, and these are all my closest relatives in Los Angeles. Besides, I have also a sister, another sister. Okay. See, I don't know where it went. So many posts, so many texts. Okay, I'll have to look for it later. Yeah, I keep wanting to share it. What I'm talking about for people who are just coming on is my god sister lost everything, and they have a GoFundMe, and I've been meaning to share it, and someone said to put it in the comments. So I'm gonna try to do that later. I gotta find it. I don't know what happened to it. So let me see, is Jana Key here? Because she might not know how to request to be on as a guest. She might not know because she's new to live. So let me see if I can add her. If you're here, say something. Allow requests from viewers. Oh, okay. I think I disabled that because I was getting so many. Okay. Well, now I don't see it. It just wants me to go through this huge list. No, I can't do that. To invite somebody, it's not even alphabetical. I can't go through that. 360 people? That's not going to work. Oh my gosh. So we'll get someone up here as a guest. So yeah, maybe when Jana Key joins, she can request, because I'm not seeing her. And do I have some moderators? Rianne says, let me see if I can see that name. That's why I'm anxious about going live. I just started going live. I didn't know what I was doing, and I've just been learning as I go. So, you got to do what you got to do. Oh, she typed that she's here. Okay. Can I see she's a mod. Oh, right. That's right. See, I forgot what I did. I added her as a mod earlier so that I could quickly add her as a guest. I think that's what so yeah, she's under moderators. There you are. So let's see if I can add you as a guest. Oh, no, that's not an option under here. Okay, but I can click you and add you, I'm sure. There must be a way. Nope. Okay. We're going to figure it out. I mean, I've had guests before. It's not my first time, but it's, my second time. Yeah, Jana Key, is it possible for you to request? Because I've put the settings so that people can request. Someone named Intuitive Influencer asked, but I don't know that person. Yeah, like I should probably have, learned this. I did it the other night. I don't know why tonight. Here we go. Let's go to live events. Nope. There's a lot of settings. One of these settings is going to work. So go back to the settings. So welcome everybody. If you could say where you're from, that would be great. Oh, Intuitive Influencer is amazing. Okay, great. Oh, she's from Canada. Okay, good. So someone said, oh, guests. Here we go. I got a little one. There she is. I didn't see her. She's coming. So the other one from Canada, we'll have you up next, okay?
Yay!
But I invited Jana. Jana, okay, how do we get your camera on?
I got it. There we go. Wait a second. Boom, save.
I know, I still look tired. I'm still tired.
Oh.
Hi. We're all tired, aren't we?
And I'm so old, it's like technology,
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, and I don't know if the other person who's popping up in the square is someone I'm supposed to. We're gonna wait for her. We're gonna do one guest at a time. Let's keep it simple. Let's not get carried away. So there's another intuitive on here, apparently from Canada, who wants to be a guest. So we'll see. We'll see if when we get tired, we'll have her come up. So Jana, tell me if I'm saying your name right. How do you say your name?
Janaki.
Okay, because I've only ever seen you in print. It's our first time actually getting a chance to talk. And Janaki, I invited Janaki because I go around and I try to listen to as many of the other dreaming women on this platform as I can. And part of it is because, I want company, right? I want to know if other people are getting the same thing I'm getting, or am I just this lone wolf in the wilderness with this crazy message? And so I go around and listen, and it gives me a sense of community. I also reach out to other dreaming women in the messages and try to connect. Some of us have even done Zooms or texted. And Janaki, I've been listening to for a while, and I just find that a lot of what she says resonates with me. I feel like we get similar information, and that makes sense to me because I that's what my guides tell me. If I meet someone who gets the same message, I'm like, okay, good. And so I like listening to Janaki's videos, and so please go follow her. And give her lots of hearts or likes or whatever gifts, whatever you can give her. And I'd like to ask you, Janaki, if you can share anything you want to share about yourself, and maybe tell the story of how you started to, how you became a dreaming woman or a 4 a.m. club member, or how it happened for you.
Well, if we want to start just at the 4 a.m. club, I had a dream the morning of the election. I wasn't the night of, because I did not sleep that night because I was in a total panic attack. But
Me
the
too,
morning,
I didn't sleep at all.
but a weird alarm went off at 4 a.m. It could not, my mother had gotten up, my mother got up and it got me into her room, and there was a weird beeping sound, and still have no idea where that came from at 4 a.m. But there was a dream I had of a woman, and this is a guide that I have seen before. She has very long strawberry blonde hair, and she was in like a medieval white dress with gold trim, and she walked me into this house, and it was on fire on both sides. And I'm like, what are you doing? Come out, come out, come out. And she started spinning, twirling, and going side to side, wailing and catching her skirts on fire while wailing. And I was so disturbed. Like, I woke up and I left my friend a message. I'm like, I had the worst nightmare. I was trying to get her out of this house. And that's when I first knew that this election was going to go our way. Like, I really felt that it was. So that was my first thing. And I didn't get on and talk about it for like 3 days. I just used this app just, to watch things, and I barely made any content at all. But I saw some people talking about dreams, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go on and talk about my dream. So I did, and it just started this whole thing. And I'm getting comfortable with talking and free flowing and things like that. But I, like you, have come from a family of sensitive people. Of my dad, I consider him a shaman. He was a white, blue-eyed man, but he was a shaman. And I have Melungian ancestors on both sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so mixed. And so my dad's dad was a healer. His healing thing is he could remove warts and moles. I know it's a weird little thing to know you can do, but he did this thing, and where he just looked at the sun, and my cousins would go to him, and he'd do this thing, and in 3 days their warts would fall off. It's just a strange thing like that. My dad was a remote viewer, and he was an intuitive healer. He he was in the dirty 30s. That he was born in 1930 in a small town in Oklahoma, and kids would run in packs, like with the dogs. Their parents put it from 2 to up to 15 probably. And so they didn't have doctors. They couldn't go to doctors and things like that. And they were poor kids. He started making poultices at the age of 4 for kids' ailments.
Oh.
And so he just became a natural healer, and he put himself through college. He wanted to be a dentist, but couldn't afford dental school. So he just became a science teacher, and he was into science and stuff, but he always had this. So he'd read a lot about medicines and naturopathic healing stuff. And people would come to him and said, I have this ailment. And he would go, you need this or that. And so that's what he did. And then he did he would meditate and journey places and get information on things and tell everybody about it. And that's just what he did. And so I took a lot after him. But also on my mother's side, her grandfather was a healer, a hot
Mm.
hands healer, and things like that. So from an early age, and like at the age of 7, I saw this time, and it was one night I was just watching TV, and I somehow thought of so many years in my future and just started crying. I had a panic attack at the age of 7, knowing what was coming. So that's why I know something big is on the horizon because I've known it since I was 7. So yeah, and just all kinds of experiences. I see ghosts and I have mediumship abilities and things like that. I turn it off and on. It wears me out sometimes.
That.
I'm like, are they talking to us?
I don't know. I couldn't see a gift, but maybe it was a gift.
I think it was a gift.
I think
So
they
yeah,
don't show up when we have a guest on. Like when I'm by myself, I see, cool things. But when I have a guest, I don't see anything. So I guess we get sound
oh
effects. So that's nice. I like that. That was fun.
yeah.
I
So
like
that's
I
kind of
like the really
the
pretty
story.
ones that are, you know.
Or the hats or whatever.
I'm like a kid, I like sparkly, colorful stuff.
Yeah,
Thanks
me
for
too.
sharing. We have that. That's probably why we're connected too. We have that kind of Melungian thing. I'm not Melungian, but I have one side of my family that's also from one of those triracial isolates, black,
Yes.
white, Native American. It was
Yes.
called Dark County, Ohio. And back in the day, all of those communities would intermarry. Oh, look, you got a cute hat. I want a hat. I
We
did.
also had a Sephardic Jew in our line too, because my grandmother, who was she looked Native American. Ah, there we go. She
Another
looked.
hat. Nice. And sunglasses.
Oh my
Excellent.
God. But she looked Native American, but she used to argue the Old Testament with men on the porch. She would argue Old Testament like she had Jewish heritage. So it was very strange.
Hey, I got a hat. It's so fun. I did one of these lives and then I recorded it to put, another hat. I love it. And then I recorded it and put it on YouTube and the screenshot. Oh, I got a garland. The screenshot. Oh, I really like that one. I like that big,
Oh,
the
that's neat.
screenshot for the video was me with the mustache and the hat. And I didn't notice. And then people were putting in the comments, oh, I like your filter. And I'm like, I don't use filters. What are you talking about? It's because it was that crazy hat.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, anyone who's just logging in, I invited Janaki here because she's another dreaming woman, and we're all trying to connect to each other. We all have the same agenda. We're all here to help people by sharing our dreams and helping people to navigate these challenging times. And I want you all to please go follow Janaki and and check out her videos. She gets a lot of good information. So let's talk. Let's talk for a little bit about. I'd like to talk a little bit about California. I'm in Los Angeles. We're dealing with these fires. It's really awful. A lot
I
of
was
people.
born and raised there. I was born and raised in Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley area.
Okay. So and
No.
I have a family member who lost their house, and it's been very hard. I have a lot of friends who've lost their houses, and I've been, I got some information about look at that. I got a hat about the. You see, I'm such a kid. I'm going to stop every time and be like, ah. But what was I saying? So I got information about how what caused the fires and how they're connected, and I think you did too. I know that I found 5 other dreaming women who all got that the fires were not wildfires.
No.
And so I wanted to know if you want to. So for people who haven't seen my video, it's on YouTube because I'm afraid to put it on TikTok. But let's hear what Janaki has to say about it.
So a couple years, and I'm finding that some dreams I've had for the past few years are coming up right now. This was a dream I had 2-3 years ago. I was say hi to this cat. Yeah, Floyd the Void is his name. Floyd the Void. He's the kitten.
We have a dog trying to be a guest. That's funny.
They're all around me. So I had this dream, and if you know the South Bay area, which is Hermosa, Redondo, Manhattan, Santa Monica, Venice, and the Palisades that are on fire right now. Those
Yeah.
all are kind of on along PCH, and I have a cousin that grew up in Manhattan Beach, so I know that area very, very well. I dreamed it was middle of the night, and I was in some of the alphabet streets, and each city has alphabet streets. So the streets that are closest to the ocean, right on the ocean side of the piece of PCH. They all have alphabet streets. Palisades did too. They burned down since then. But I dreamed that I was like standing in a street just observing, and I saw men coming in from boats dressed in black tactical gear with guns coming up from boats, and they were foreign invaders is what I saw in this dream. And I've been often worried about that, and I have not made a video of that, and I probably won't, but you guys here on live see it. And so I'm worried about California with something like that, especially since Rasputina, that's what I like to call him, says he's wants California. He just does. It used to be Russian territory. And so I've heard some things about the smart meters. And I don't like to get into a lot of conspiracy theories, but that's a technology that is programmed from headquarters, and a lot of buildings that kind of went up, they kind of all went together instead of like that. Some of them didn't have the smart meters, which is the gas meters or electric meters. The houses that did not have the smart meters did not catch on fire, and the smart meter houses did. So that some people are going around asking, just in physical form, hey, did your house have a smart meter? Yes or no? Most of them do, because if you don't have a smart meter, they have to come out and read the meter themselves, and that costs money. So they want everybody to have a smart meter. So and I think most even in my state have smart meters. So when we're talking about technology like that can be hacked.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah,
that's the thing we have to recognize is the seven thieves. People who've been following my stories about the joust, the Naked Emperor, Lotus Queen, and how it was finagled, it involves all of these thieves, and several of them are high-tech thieves. Starboy, we also call him Leon, Theos, and what's the other one? Bozo the Clown. These are all people who have made their money off technology. They specialize in AI and in using technology and in certain ways, in really, really advanced ways. And so it makes sense, right? What you're saying. I don't know anything about that theory, but I would say
saw a couple of videos, and that's how I picked it up. But
it's not inconsistent with the characters in the story and what their specialty is.
Right.
What I got was that it was intentional, and I was so upset all week, starting when the fire started on Monday, and I really haven't been sleeping. And I knew that part of why I was upset is because I have my own PTSD, because I was in 2 fires last year. But so I was like, when you're a psychic, you always have to be aware of any emotions that could be coloring what you're picking up. And so I was like, well, that's probably just me. That's probably just me. But after a few days, and I was really, kind of reflecting on my emotions about it, I just still kept getting, no, this is not what it looks like. This is much worse than it looks, because there are these nefarious intentions behind this. And also for those of us who live here, anyone who's lived here for any amount of time, and I've lived here quite a while, we have wildfire season. This is not it.
No.
We have wildfires when it's hot and dry. We don't have wildfires in the winter when it's cold and wet.
This is
And
not the time for them at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
September,
yeah.
October, November is fire season.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you can say, well, climate change. And so, of course, that's what a lot of us thought at first. Wow, climate change has completely shifted wildfire weather or season. But then you have to look at the way the fires are burning. And that also didn't make sense. And where they are and how they all started at once in a circle around the city, and really largely around a certain part of the city that has to do with Hollywood and certain groups. Um, so so there were like logical, like pattern reasons to be suspicious, but then intuitively I was picking that up, and what I got clearly was that it was associated with these characters from our story. Um, so I'm just asking everybody to please send rain to us. If you could just in your daily meditations visualize it raining here. It's usually raining this time of year, and so it would be totally normal for it to be raining right now. Instead, we're having this weird weather.
And to just stop the wind. The wind is the
Yeah,
worst part. I
yeah.
have a
Stop the wind and bring the rain.
I have a cousin that lives up in Santa Rosa, and her house was part of the Coffee Park fire in 2018 that took out a big section of Santa Rosa. Her
Mm-hmm.
house was missed by like her house and like four other houses were the only ones standing in the whole neighborhood. And I don't know how they went around them somehow. And then I think of Lahaina and I think of Paradise, and they're all odd. Like you said, I grew up in Southern California too, and I'm terrified. The PTSD thing, I remember ash falling, as a kid, even in Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley, from fires, up in the mountains, and it always took out some structures here and there, but they were usually people that lived kind of in outlying areas
Right,
here
out
and
in the
there.
woods.
And these neighborhoods going out, that is never, ever in the history that I'm 56 years old, never, not until 2018 and the fires up in Santa Rosa that started like all of these disasters. Now all of a sudden it's a norm. I don't
Yeah.
understand how it's now a norm. And
Well,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I don't want we don't want to spend all of our time on that. I know it's really sad, but
yeah.
I feel very, I need to talk about it because I have people who are really suffering here, friends and family,
Mhm.
and I'm safe where I am. Um, and so I'm very fortunate. Um, so we're talking about California and the wildfires we're having here that are just historically bad. I mean, whole huge areas have burnt to the ground.
Mhm.
It's never been like this. Um, but let's talk about the joust. And I
Mhm.
don't know if I have all these moderators, and I hope they're on. I hope they're here. Also, when I have guests on, I can't really see the comments. I probably have to
I
just
think
do
they're coming through
something.
fast. Yeah.
What?
I see them. They're coming through fast. I can tell you if there's something in there that's not great.
Oh, you can see them better.
Yeah.
So hopefully I got some moderators here. I've never had any issues with my lives. I've never had any issues at all with my videos. I've been really, really fortunate and protected, and I haven't got any, hateful uh, people in my comments, and so I'm really grateful for that. Oh yeah, so there's a mod. I assume when she says I'm a mod, she's one of the people that's always modding for me. McKinley, yeah, McKinley. Thank you,
Mhm.
McKinley. Yeah, McKinley's always helping me out. Iris, I got some great people who help me out, and I'm always trying to add more moderators because I don't want the people who are moderating to get overworked. I don't even know what it entails, but they're obviously doing a good job, right? Because we don't have any problems. So let's talk about the joust, and also let's talk about like recent dreams. And our moderators usually remind people to use code words We have to use code words because to keep our accounts up. I've been under serious suppression for weeks. I've been having a threat for my account to be suspended for weeks,
And
and
I
it's
just
not.
want to say that people are trying to join. I put mine on private just today for just, sometimes I'll put it on private for a little bit because some people start noticing me and I
Mm.
see the activity on, and it's like weird old accounts. Weird old videos that like, and there's suddenly like 25 likes and they're all numbered. They're all just, generic numbered. And I have to private those. And then if I see a lot of that, I'll private myself for just a little bit. I'll unprivate myself after this live so people can follow me. So, yeah, sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah. So I don't know what to do because thank you for the heart. I don't know what to do about that, but one thing that I do is we just make sure that we don't use certain words. We don't even know what words we're not supposed to use, so we just avoid any word that we think could possibly be an issue. And so instead of talking about things as if I'm a reporter, I always say this is for entertainment purposes only. I am a storyteller. I tell stories based on messages from my guides. So these are intuitive stories, and there's a lot of characters in my story. The main characters are the Naked Emperor, who was reported as having won the joust when we know that he didn't. And then the other main character is Lotus Queen. Oh, we got another cowboy. And then we've got Starboy, who has the sky eyes, and that's his tech. And he was instrumental in the finagling of the joust. And then we also have Rasputin, who's the leader of another realm, who's another character who I call one of the thieves, the seven thieves, who helped to finagle the joust. So these are some of our characters in the story. And then Janaki might have her own characters and her own story.
I
But
use those too. I just called
okay.
Rasputin, Rasputina.
Rasputina, in her story, it's called Rasputina.
Yeah.
So let's talk about recent chapters. The most in one of the most recent chapters that I wrote, I talked about how all these thieves are involved in the joust and what their agendas are. And I'm not going to go over that right now because we got Janaki here. We want to hear from her. But just in summary, what I outlined was that each of these characters has a vested interest in the Naked Emperor being seated, not because of anything about the Naked Emperor that they like, but just because they all have the ultimate goal of world domination, and he having him in position allows them to achieve that goal or facilitates that goal. So that's the most recent information that I've gotten. And I also got that the star beings are willing to help us, but we have to ask them for help. They're not going to interfere. What's some of the recent stuff that you've been
Well, I
receiving?
feel like I signed a contract last night with the Star Beings to work with them. They gave me some weird green tablet that had little lights and dots, and they were going through things with me, and I was okaying things. It was a weird situation, and
Nice.
then I woke up with the lyrics with the song "The Joke" by Brandy Carlisle, and there's just the chorus part, and so I'm like, that's a sign. But
What's the chorus?
I have to look it up. I don't want to sing it.
I just don't know I don't know the words.
Oh yeah, okay. So give me a second here. But I I think I'm feeling right now what has to be done is going to involve military. And so here we go. Randy Carlisle. Nope, I need.
I love when I get lyrics in an intuitive message.
Oh,
I often will get songs. It's really fun, or movies.
I always get songs. It always talks to me. It's let them laugh while they can, let them spin, let them scatter in the wind. I've been to the movies. I've seen how it ends and the jokes on them.
I love it. I love it.
That was running through over and over. And so
It's always
yes,
great when spirit speaks through these media, you know.
Yes, I love it. So I just have always seen that it's going to have to be military because our whole system
Coffee.
is permeated with agents and people who are assets in some way. Even there's so many that don't know they are. They don't know
Yeah.
they're working for they're that's what their party's telling them to do, and they're doing it, but they really don't know that they're working for him, Rasputina, on the side. Some do.
Right?
The ones that do that are going to be in trouble at some point, but or we can hope. I don't like to jinx myself when if I'm like steadfast and it's going to be this way. Spirit always like teaches me a lesson on that, so I have to be grounded. I have to always be grounded in that and say, yes, I see this happening. And it's a real battle between dark and light. Like this is not guaranteed. I know what they're working on and we know what's right and wrong. That doesn't guarantee it because it's the D of the O and the J, it's kind of a dicey department right there. So when you're looking at stuff that is colluding with a foreign, country that's our steadfast enemy, and the big or the post World War II organization that starts with an N and ends in the O is also watching this going on. The only way we can deal with this is through the military because that's who's going to be in charge of this, not the
Interesting.
T and the J. Although they're passing it along that way, just probably to see what can be done in those routes. But I know Nancy Pelosi and Jamie Raskin, is that right? They both have been on TV and said we're not going to do anything. People have asked, I don't, and that must be then in the, it's being discussed that something looks fishy here. And are you guys going to do something? Because they've been asked on TV and they said the Democrats aren't going to do anything. Well, no, they're not. That's not for them to do at all. And if they
Yeah.
tried, it would look very, very political because this is
Right.
well beyond parties at this point. It's not
It
parties.
is. It is. Exactly. I agree. It has to be a neutral third party. I got that weeks ago. It cannot be the Democrats because then it'll look like a political party thing, like it's the Reds
That's
versus the Blues. Yeah, and like you said, we're beyond red and blue. This is about national society. That's another code
yes.
word. National society. It's about the
Like,
entire realm. It's about all of us.
yeah. Yeah, so that's now the only story I see. And I started seeing it muddied and all these other different routes, and they were going through the all the things. And but from the beginning I have a video where I read what the out well, not what the outcome will be, what the steps should be. And I've always seen the military, always seen MP doing the and people will come up and say, well, they can't do that to citizens who are not part of the military. Yes, they can if they have been involved in the T with a reason.
Yeah.
That's the only time they can.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, when you're dealing with acts like what's going on in California, which is a T act, it's an
Yes.
act of T. It's an act of a
National
fear act.
security. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fear act. It's a mass fear act. If you get my
Right.
meaning.
Yes, I
Um,
do.
thank you for the galaxy. It's a T. It's a T fear meeting. And so when you're dealing with that kind of event, and I trace that back to Starboy. I'm glad you're saying this. I mean, I'm not glad you're saying it, but I'm also like, I really like to hear from other dreaming women because I'm very careful about, I don't want to say things that are going to scare people.
I
But then
know.
at a certain point, we do have to start
We
saying
have to be
things like,
prepared.
so people can get prepared. Because this is what I want to say to people about what Janaki just said about the military. Keep in mind that the whole purpose of the Seven Thieves is world domination. And their plan A was finagling the joust to get in a puppet that they could use to then enact their plan of world domination. And that's why the puppet, aka the Naked Emperor, is now talking about nothing but world domination. He wants to go to Greenland. He wants to go to Canada. He wants to go to Panama, right? He wants to invade all these countries. That was not a part of the campaign trail. That was not a part of the pre-joust promises. That was not a part of the discussion at all. But now that's all he talks about. And that's because he is a puppet for Rasputin and Starboy. And if they can't achieve their ends with plan A, they're going to plan B. And plan B is what is the the fear, the mass fear acts. And so plan B, of course, it makes sense that the only way to deal with that is military. But I just want to say something about that. The goal of that is chaos. The goal of that is to make us fearful, to make us fight amongst ourselves, blame each other, and to destabilize our realm. And so we've got to fight against that. We have to come together as people, as members of this realm. We've got to get past party. We've got to get past everything. We have to come together and unite against a common enemy, because our enemy is not here. Our enemy is abroad. And so we have to come together, and we have to not fall into like fear and chaos. We have to not start, we can't get like caught up in fear and despair. We have to maintain that hope for the outcome that we know we're going to see. But as I've said for weeks now, we have to go through some things before we get there. But we can go through them with the minimum amount of fear and despair, right? Because we've all been through stuff before. We know how to go through stuff. Certainly our people, like Janaki and I, those of us who are from marginalized populations, we know what it's like to go through some things and still survive. And I think we all as a realm have gone through some things, right? We went through the pandemic. We've all been through that. So we can go through this without panicking and having pandemonium, right?
And that's so important. And that's why I said a couple of days ago, I finally got up the nerve to watch Leave the World Behind, which is on Netflix. And I avoided it because I just felt that it was going to be, but the information in it kind of laid it out. And what's interesting is the Obamas produced it and paid for it they wanted the warning out there. They wanted us to know this information. And so if we suddenly lose communications, watch this, because if we suddenly lose communications, that's when I said, everybody that's in here that's a light worker is the helpers. We're the helpers. So you need to go around, talk to your neighbors, calm them down, and make sure that we all work together instead of being service to self and taking care of ourselves. Like so many people in that movie, they were in it for themselves and they were just taking care of themselves instead of finding community. And that's the worst thing you can do, is just hide in a hole and take care of yourself. You have to make community. Right. And so we need that lesson. That's a very important lesson to know this. And so.
Yeah, it's so important, community. In fact, I've been saying that for a long time on my channel, that we have to form community. And of course, we have community on here, which is amazing. But we also have to form IRL community. So like I've started, I talk to my neighbors. I've started inviting people over and going to other people's house and just like getting to know people that live really close to me. Because if we lose the internet or the electricity or whatever, it's not going to be forever. It's going to be temporary. But sometimes people can get really panicked when they can't communicate. And so you want to make sure that you have people nearby that you can talk to. Like, just remember in the pandemic, like we had to make sure that we connected with people on a regular basis so we didn't get stir crazy. So that's the case now too. We got to be ready for a disruption. There might be a disruption, and I don't see a long disruption.
No,
Um,
neither do I. A week or two.
yeah, yeah, but you'd be amazed how upset people can get. I was in a hurricane once in Florida, and for a week we didn't have power, we didn't have internet, we didn't have there was no transportation, we couldn't get gas, our ATM machines didn't work, our cell phones didn't work. Um, it was hard to get food because the food was all spoiling in the grocery store, and so we only had I ate nothing but peanut butter sandwiches and warm water for a week, right? So like we had to deal with this really difficult situation. And some people can get really upset when that happens. What I found, though, is that most people responded to it by being very kind and looking out for each other and coming together in community. And that's what we're going to have to do. If we don't have our internet for a week, we're going to have to find a way, to make it through and not panic.
Yeah. Yeah. I got some, I've been preparing. I got some plastic jugs that you can put water in and some life straws. I've got that. And some ways to those little packets of things that you can purify water with. You can get that stuff for pretty cheap. You can go to a camping store and get that stuff. Go to your camping store. And someone asked, is this soon? I would say in the next 2 weeks. If something's going to
for Los Angeles, we're already there. So like when I was getting this information, I was thinking, really, are we really going to have to deal? Like I did get some preparation. I got food. I got canned goods. I got water. I got, flashlights, the stuff you need for an earthquake, just the stuff we normally should have on hand for any natural disaster, candles, match, whatever, the normal, nothing extreme. And I got water.
Don't forget
But
pets.
I remember seeing people with what?
You need extra pet food. Don't forget your
Extra
pets.
pet food.
Extra pet food. Yeah.
And I remember seeing those straws online, and I was like, "How are we going to need straws for water?" But then here we are in LA, and in the areas where the fires are, the water is now contaminated,
Yes.
and people cannot drink water, regular water out of the faucet. You cannot drink it in many parts of LA now, and no one saw that coming, right? I mean, so like when we say we're going to go through things, like this is one of the things we're going through. We're going through the LA fires, which are just massive and are really, really disruptive. We've had over 1,000, structures destroyed. We've had tens of thousands. I think we have like 180,000 people right now who are evacuated. Who can't go home. So
I have a cousin, Sierra Madre, against the hills there. The Altadena fire I think they had to evacuate the other day, but I think they're back. I don't know, but he's supposed to come out and be the speaker for my mother's funeral. So it's like, I hope he can come and do that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh yeah, it's she lived a perfectly full life, and so I'm celebrating. She wins the blue ribbon because 90 years old and got to stay at home, never had to be in a facility or a hospital. She won. That's a win. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, my mom just passed this year too, and she never had to live in a facility either.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a win.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, like, I remember just thinking a week ago, well, oh, come on, are we really going to need like survival straws? But then it's amazing how something like this can happen, and overnight you have to worry about your water. So for us, it's fire, but we don't know what's going to happen in other states. And it's not, I don't see it being anything major. Like there's not going to be any WW. There's not going to be any, major conflict. There's not going to be any CW, if you get my meaning. It's like WW, but internal, right? We're not going to have that. But what we are going to see is some of these disruptions, like what we're experiencing in Los Angeles, where all of a sudden, people are dealing with major disruptions in their life.
It'll be the bigger cities. We're talking Chicago,
New York. It's
in
going to
LA.
be the blue cities that have black or brown mayors because they
That's
want to blame them. So like they're blaming our mayor
right.
because she's a black woman, and they're also blaming the Native Americans in Los
And
Angeles for the
the head of
fire.
the fire department, who is a masked female, and yeah, I think all three of the heads of the fire department in LA are female who are LGBTQ, and so they're
Yeah,
going after them too.
they're going after the women, they're going after the alphabet crew, they're going after Native Americans, and they're going after the black mayor. And so this is, I'm talking about the red team.
Yes.
We have to resist that, we have to resist that blame game and that name calling, because there are some people who are not on the, red team, who are being influenced by that propaganda because they're so upset. When people are upset, they want to blame somebody, right? Why did this happen to me? I didn't do anything wrong. Why did my house burn down, right? And when people are in that state of despair, it's easy to influence them to start pointing fingers. We
Yeah.
can't do that. We cannot do that. We have to stay unified. Um, you know,
People are asking about Mr. Marshall. I call it Mr. Marshall.
yeah,
Uh, Mr. Marshall could very well happen. And so that would be, if it's national, it would be as the president calling I call it the kerfuffle. Instead of the W, I call it a major, it's an active kerfuffle. And if it's in the states, it'll be called by government, by their governors. And so if something happens, they definitely will call that for protection. That's protection. You have to keep people inside, and the bad actors will be rushing out to do their thing, and then they can round them up. They can do what they need to do. And so the Mr. Marshall is a good thing. It keeps us safe.
yeah. Like we're in Los Angeles, there are certain neighborhoods where they have brought in the National Guard and also like the sheriffs and stuff, and they've put up a curfew, and
Yeah.
which is similar to martial law, and they've done that, I
Yeah.
think, because they're looking for the arsonists.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get everybody to stay home and get off the streets, then you can identify the bad actors who are up to no good. But it's hard to identify them when there's crowds of people, right? And so I know that a couple of suspects have been arrested, and there's been some video footage, but I suspect there's a lot of them, a lot of people involved, and it's a very sophisticated operation. So I understand that need to have that curfew and that extra level of people on the streets, the National Guard, and so we have to not panic, right? Because of course we're a freedom-loving people. We don't want to live in a constrained way. Um,
Well, the point is chaos, so they want panic. So that's
yeah,
you, by not panicking, you're doing the opposite of what they
yeah.
are expecting us to do.
Yeah, and so we just have to stay hopeful, and we have to not panic, and we have to trust that we know what the outcome will be. So many of us, we all still see the Lotus POTUS. We all still see the Lotus Queen on the throne. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen. A lot of people are saying March, but I know it's going to happen. But I also see a lot of disruptions along the way.
Well, what's weird is I asked a couple times, will Orange Man be actually sworn in? And it said yes. And then I said in 2025, and I asked, but will KH be sworn in 2025? It said yes. So we may get even past. I don't know how that would happen. I pray that we don't see him on the 20th. I can't. I don't think I can handle that. But for
I
some
know. Can any of us
reason,
handle that? God.
it's going to be hard. Well, that's something that we're going to have to face. But just pray that There is a global thing going on. Oh, and I just made a connection today with Justin Trudeau putting in his resignation to step down. Why now? Well, because Starboy's going to run up there and start meddling, and they want to get some more evidence
Hmm.
on him. And I got that today. It was like a quick little download. Like, oh, they're setting another trap.
Hmm.
Setting
That
another
makes
trap
sense. Yeah.
quickly. And I'm like, why would he suddenly do that now? Because that's a good time to do it. They need some more. Maybe they need some more
Yeah.
evidence, at least for him. So I don't know. It's a lot. It's becoming a lot to keep track of in my
It is a
mind.
lot. And, I just want to say something about precognition. Um, my experience with precognition, it's my least favorite gift. And I don't use it often. I only use it when I'm required to in certain situations where my guides tell me we need you to do this.
Mhm.
And the thing about precognition, which is the ability to see the future, is that we often only use this gift to see things in the future that are challenging to see. And that's because the purpose of the gift is often to warn people or prepare people. And so, like, I've seen a lot of good things as well. I've seen Kate, I've seen,
I know.
uh oh, I got a coupon. I got a puzzle. I always fail the robot test.
Oh no.
Let me in.
Went past an hour.
Yeah, I always fail it. Every robot test, I always fail. I did have a past life as a robot, so that might be it. That old robot is still in there. Um, so I've got good information. Oh, thank you for the beautiful pinwheel. I've gotten good information, but I've gotten hopeful information, but I've also gotten things that are difficult to hear because it helps prepare people. And so when you hear us saying things that you don't want to hear, we're not just saying them, for kicks. We're saying them to help you prepare. And so I want to tell a little story, and then maybe Janaki might want to talk about this as well. Um, when I was finishing grad school, when I was finishing my PhD, my advisor got sick, and that's all we knew was that she was sick. And the day that I was supposed to go visit her, I was going to her house and with another graduate student. And right before I left the house, I suddenly, like, I was standing at the door getting ready to leave, and I just fell asleep standing up. And sometimes that used to be the way my guides would get me to have a vision, is they would just cause me to fall asleep in the middle of the day in the most bizarre circumstances. And so I sat down on the couch, and it was like I fell asleep for about 10 minutes. And I had this very vivid dream. And in the dream, it was it was a detailed dream about me visiting her. And in the dream, we went into the house, we had tea. At a certain point, I gave her a massage. We talked about, school, whatever. It was just a really detailed, very mundane dream. But what was really shocking in the dream was how she looked. She had this very bloated face. She didn't look anything like herself. And it was shocking. And so I had that dream, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm being prepared, right? And so when I went over to her house, she did look like that, but I wasn't shocked. And so instead of opening the door and me going, oh, which is probably what I would have done if I had not been prepared, I just looked at her like she looked fine, and I wasn't alarmed, and everything that happened during our visit was exactly what I had seen in the dream. And so I was very calm. And that's just a perfect example of how precognition often works, is that we're shown the future so that we can prepare for it. We're shown the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it allows us to prepare for it so we don't have such strong reactions to the negative parts of the future. And so my professor had cancer, and she died shortly after, and it was very hard to take. But I knew she had cancer before they told her she had cancer, and so I was prepared for the news when I got it. Um, and so this is how precognition works. That's been my experience with it. You want to speak about this, Jonathan?
My best precogs are dreams, and they usually come. What's weird is some of these precog dreams I've had a few years ago that are coming up now. But the in 2000, was it 2006, the earthquake in Japan with the tsunami? I dreamed I was on a rocky beach, and I looked up, and there were these houses, but they looked like little Japanese lanterns with little colored lights in them. And a wave came across my feet, and it rolled back, and what was left was one of those deep sea fishes with the ink with the lights, coelacanth, I think they're called. And I remember going, "Oh my God, what is this fish doing here?" And I woke up. It was kind of like I went, "Oh, something's gonna." I told friends, I'm like, "Something's gonna happen." This was looked like some other country.
Mm.
And this anglerfish came up. This coelacanth was washed up, which is they live 1,000 feet down. And 2 days later, the earthquake in Japan and the tsunami, and people were finding those coelacanths everywhere. That water pushed all that stuff up. And airplane. Oh, I had some airplane dreams that crashed and those things too. But the remote viewing and looking in the future, I did it some here, but that's what I feel like you're seeing is what other people are thinking. So you're picking up on someone's thoughts and plans. It's not, for me, it's not an actual vision of the future. It's picking up what someone's thinking of the future, what their plans are for the future, which can be changed at any time because of free will. Um, I haven't had very good success with actually seeing something, although I can intuit, I think, a pathway that's going in a certain direction, and like, oh yeah, it's coming that way. I feel like if you saw the movie Men in Black 3, there's that character that could see all different realities that could happen at any time, or different dimensional spaces. I sometimes feel like that, where I can see three different outcomes. Well, if this happens, then all this is going to happen, and if this happens, then all of this is going to happen. And I'm an overthinker, and that's like hyper overthinking right there. And so I can see, yes, I can see him being sworn in, and I can also see it stopping last minute, and it turning into some kind of civil unrest stuff, and then everything get kind of straightened out, and it happens in March or May. So those are the two possibilities right now, and it can easily, either one can happen, because it's what's happening right now is difficult. It's not guaranteed, and so there's two pathways forming, and that's why precog is hard, because there's sometimes two timelines forming at the same time.
Hmm. We have another dreaming woman on that one of my moderators let in. I think she's from Canada. Oh, where'd she go? Oh, I was trying to get her to put her camera on.
Oh, maybe she's not ready.
Okay. I think one of my moderators let her in, which is fine. I just don't. Where'd she go? Okay, I'm going to invite her again.
Yes.
I think this is the intuitive from Canada that wanted to join us. So let's let her join us. But we'd like to see you on camera, please. There you
Here
are.
I am.
Yay.
I was trying. Hi.
I know you. I've seen you. I've seen your videos.
Good, good. Well, I'm always quoting you, and I'm talking about you and sending everybody over to you, because you are the calm. I just want to take a minute to say you are the calm everybody needs. You make people feel so good, and you tell the truth, and you just share, you validate for all of us, not just the dreaming women, all of us. So I'm just
Thank
thrilled to be
you.
here. I heard,
Thank
I
you.
jumped on here and I heard my name being talked about. I'm Alyssa, by the way.
Alyssa.
Yes.
I'm Jennifer Lisa.
Yes. Nice to see you both.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And you're in Canada?
I'm here near Toronto.
Toronto. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I've been to Canada a lot. I love Canada. and I love Canadian people. I've done a lot of public speaking there, and
Uh-huh.
I love it there. So yeah, welcome.
It's pretty cool. Thank you. Yeah, we have our own craziness going on up here. I heard you talking about
Yeah, yeah.
today.
So yeah, we've been doing a lot of talking, so maybe we'll let you
Mhm.
talk for a while.
Okay.
You can maybe, I guess, you can maybe start by introducing yourself and talking about your gifts or how you got
Yes.
involved in this whole Dreaming Woman intuitive 4 a.m.
Yes.
club madness.
Absolutely. So I've been taking notes, so I didn't cover all the stuff that you covered. So yes, I'm relatively new to this. Like I guess I could start by saying that my true like coming out as an intuitive came about November 6th. Like I had created this profile on TikTok and I had 75 followers and I was not active on it. I was getting tired of social media in general, but I have felt the call. So I've been doing a lot of my work. I've been on my own spiritual journey. I've been doing healing work, practice the emotion code and some other self-healing modalities, but didn't really, I wasn't fully aligned with that until the joust. And I felt called. So in the work that I've been doing with a mentor of mine, she had this lovely download that she shared with me that was for me, and it's on my bathroom wall. It says, come together in whatever form of love speaks through you, and you will change the world. And it was like, I didn't know what that meant. I had no idea, but it just felt good in my soul. So it was like I was just waiting, like I was in the batting lineup, just kind of waiting. And the morning of, the same thing happened. What's really interesting, I'm obsessed with US politics, by the way. I have lived in the States. My daughter's dual citizen. What I call my husband lives in Tennessee, and I have lived in Tennessee. So I've been very involved and being very unhealed 8 years ago. I was in, I'd say, fight or flight for those 4 years. Doing the healing began really once COVID began. We were kind of all forced within, right? So that's when I became certified in healing, started doing the work on myself. And so I knew I had done the work or I thought it was just having done the work the night of the joust when I was like, oh, I see where this is going. I was expecting this and I was not expecting this. This is interesting. And so I woke up at 3 a.m., checked my phone, and I remember thinking, what an interesting echo of the past. I remember checking my phone in the middle of the night in 2015 and going, or 2016, and going and having a panic attack, like a literal panic attack and being sick to my stomach. And this time it was like, that both was and wasn't supposed to happen. But I'm totally chill. So I posted something that morning, I actually had a little tear, but I was calm. And I said, I'm actually feeling hopeful. The word hopeful came out. And I thought, that's so strange for me to say that because I'm not a Pollyanna. That's not who I am. That's not what the facts are telling me here. But I just felt like my voice was needed. I needed to share that. And then I shared one more post about that later that day where I said, well, actually, and I thought everybody was talking like this. I was very new to TikTok and I just came on and said, it ain't over till it's not over. It's actually not over. This is not what's really happening here. And I just spoke my mind in my car without makeup. And that post just went bananas. And it went on both sides of TikTok. But that's when I realized this is my community. This is where I'm supposed to share. This is, where I am called to be. And so, yeah, I've been as everything has moved forward very quickly. And as we are ascending, my intuitive abilities have skyrocketed, I would say. I'm not precognisant in general. I kind of read the energies, right? And I use muscle testing. I listen. I've been getting little downloads, and I've been doing some automatic writing. And that one of those things is what I share. Actually, I just looked up one as I was listening to you.
Oh, welcome, Sky Girl. Apparently, Sky Girl's here. She's another dreaming woman.
Oh, fantastic. So I did get, I thought this would find, this is interesting because this is like mid-December. I got the days that follow will be intense and disorienting. They will have you questioning everything you thought you knew. This is as it should be. Remember, you chose to be here at this pivotal point in history. So I thought that's really cool. And what I think that, again, the reason I'm here is to remind people that all of this is happening for us. That's what I've always said. This is for us to see where we need to heal. But it's also reminding us that our intuition, that our divine feminine, our intuition is to be minded. It is to be listened to, no matter what everybody's saying. I realize we all sound, batch crazy. And I'm good with that. Like, I'm totally fine with that. Now, I don't care. I've turned my ego down, and but I think that that's what we need to. I'm here to help release fear. I started doing work with the started getting into David Hawkins a couple of years ago. Like, we just need to release fear. That's all we need to do. I guess in preparation for this, because I feel like they're harvesting our fear, and I want everybody to consider that. Right? They are harvesting our
They
fear.
are.
It's kind of like that Monsters Inc. movie, right?
Right?
The video about that a long time ago. Yeah, like right after the election, I said the same thing.
Really, eh?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, I just said it.
I got the message.
Living in joy.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
I was saying, I got the message so clearly. I started on November 7th, I think.
Yeah.
I got the message so clearly from my guides that we really have to do everything we can to stay hopeful and to keep our emotion up, our vibration up. Because if we don't, if we do go into despair and fear, that aids the destabilization, that aids the timeline that we don't want to be on. Yeah. That aids the outcome that we don't want to see. That's how the other side really operated for the last many years, is through fear. Like that was that's how their followers got involved, was through fear. Yes. And the opposite of fear is love. And so we have to be loving. We just have to do whatever we can to express love to ourselves, to our neighbors, our friends, our family, even people we don't like. We just have to do whatever we can to embody fear, to embody love, because love is so much more powerful than fear. Love defeats fear every time. I think we got a new person coming on. What happened?
I don't know.
The boxes moved. The Brady Bunch boxes.
I know.
Moved.
It's like we're in Hollywood Squares or something.
Is Sky Girl coming on? Because I think Sky Girl might want to come on. So maybe one of the moderators can pull Sky Girl in if she's interested. Because I don't know how. I didn't see her. I was trying to, but I don't think I saw her.
And while you're doing that, I will say, you're talking about transmuting fear, courage. Like, if you look at the levels of consciousness map, it's courage is that one emotion, that I call it the watershed emotion, that moves us from the low vibe to the high vibe, right? And that's all we need to do. You just need to be courageous enough to move towards love, right? To send love. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Sky Girl.
You guys. I'm loving what you're talking about. I'm loving it.
Yeah. So we're just, it's Alyssa, right?
Alyssa, yeah.
Yeah, Alyssa just came on, so we're still listening. We haven't heard a lot from Alyssa yet. Okay. So we're going to hear more from her, and then we're going to ask you some questions, or ask you to contribute, okay?
Great. Thank you.
So let's hear some more from Alyssa. Yeah. So what else do you want to share about what's new, what you've been picking up, any automatic writing you've been doing, or dreams you've been having?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been getting, like, every morning I have some fun, and I do feel like I have some kind of an extraterrestrial guide who's been infusing my heart in the early morning hours. I cannot describe it in any other way, but I usually get higher self gives me like these little squeezes when I need them, but this has been this infusion of some sort of energy, life force, which has been just beautiful. But I've been getting these, I'll say, and as I'm in the theta state, I'll be like, what, give me the word of the day. So one day it'll be ground, and the other day, I can't remember what some of them were, but yesterday was fantastic because I got the Muppet Show theme song. And I was like, and the funny thing is, it had popped into my head from time to time over the years, and I really now realize they were trying to tell me this is human theater. This is theater. This is a play. So, and that's one thing that I think my followers have found great comfort in, and it releases a lot of their fear. And it's a very radical belief, but I do believe that we all choose to come here and we kind of negotiate these roles, right? So when I talk about the Orange Man, I'm like, what kind of extraordinary soul would go, oh yeah, I'll take that one. I'll get in there and I'll do all of that. And once we look at it that way and we say these were agreements that we made, and this he is playing his role, and so what is our role in this? It gives us, I believe, it gives us a little more agency, and it calms us a little more, and it's calmed me. I have very, very little fear anymore, if any. I've got to imagine, because I'm human, that I do have some fear, but I just don't feel that, and I don't get triggered by him anymore, because I think, wow, he's playing the role beautifully. Exactly. He embraces the role so beautifully.
He does. And in 2016, when that whole thing happened, the very first thing I did was ask my guides for an explanation, please.
I would have too. Right.
And I was doing it through automatic writing, like you do. I use a lot of different means and methods of communicating with spirit. And at the time I said, I think I was so upset. I was like, okay, just write through me. I don't even want to listen to this. And I wrote it, and they wrote this incredible thing about how great this was, that this had happened because his role was to be a launching point for us to come together in our resistance to the hate.
Yep.
And so he was going to necessarily be a sparking point for all of the light workers, because we were going to recognize the what's the right word? The negative potentiality of that event. We were going to recognize how bad it could be.
Yeah. Bless you.
Bless you.
One more.
What a cute sneeze. Oh my.
It's adorable, right?
And that sneeze is also a symbol of
Energy.
being afraid of, or not stepping fully into your spiritual power, and being afraid that other people are more spiritually powerful than you. And that was the fear, right? People were afraid of him. But of course, we're all more powerful, right? He was a symbol for a certain way of being, right? Hatred and division. And we all incarnated, all of us here and all of the people who are on this live, right? All of the people who are part of this community, we all incarnated to be the light, right? And to evolve humanity. But we kind of sometimes need these shadow events to kind of provoke us to get serious about this work.
Yes. Yeah. Like it accelerated everything.
Yeah. So here we are again, getting
And so
accelerated.
critical. This is why I think the Muppet thing is so perfect, right? It's like, it is an exaggeration. It's a cartoon. The things he's saying now, I'm off mainstream media. I've never been happier. But the things that filter through to me, I'm like, it's a joke. It's like a grade 3 play that someone's writing. This is absurd.
Right?
It is theater of the absurd. And you've got to, I realize, how serious the situation is. And yet I believe that when we kind of laugh at the absurdity of it, they lose their power over us. And this is what we're being called to see, our own power, to realize just how incredibly powerful we are. That's been my constant message, for the last 2 months. We are so much more powerful than we think.
Exactly.
I just keep thinking, how many seasons is this going to be in a miniseries?
It's terrible.
I think we're on
You
season
would not
3
get the
now.
go-ahead in Hollywood.
It's almost over. I think it's almost over.
Yeah.
I think this show is almost this show that's so poorly written is almost over, and it has a happy ending. That's what we have to remember. It has a happy ending.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got a lot of plot twists. We got a lot of villains in this story, but it has a happy ending.
Yeah.
It
We
does.
have we have a likable protagonist
Yes, right.
who is going to overcome her obstacles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm
Into
interested.
the movies, and I'm seeing how it ends, and the joke's on them. As the
Right?
song went today, this morning, yes.
That was the
The
song.
joke's on them, yeah.
Now,
Let's hear-
that's
let's-
a good
Go
point
ahead.
that we all need to, keep in mind when this does go the way we see it going, is for people to extend that love, right? And to not say, I told you so. It's going to be so hard, but it's going to be so important, right?
Right.
The I told you so dance.
We can all
gonna
just
dance
sort
for
of
about 20
sit with our
minutes, yeah.
teacup, and our posts, and just show everybody's comments, all
Or
the mean people's comments.
Empress CJJ always says, ready to be petty.
Yeah, right. I'd love her degree of
Exactly.
pettiness.
She's so awesome. So
I love
Sky
her.
Girl, let's hear from you. I don't know if you've been listening, but we've been kind of catching up on what we've learned recently. Anything we want to add to the story?
Yeah, I've
Anything
been
you want to
listening.
share?
I'm doing laundry, so I was carrying you guys around with me. It was great. So great guests
Now I
up
had other
there.
people introduce themselves, so maybe I should have you do that too.
Okay.
Sky Girl, let me say something about you first, because
Okay.
I've been trying to say stuff about people that come on when I remember. I forgot. So Sky Girl invited me onto her live. I think it was last Sunday, and really it's because of her that I'm doing all these lives now. I've been doing lives every day since, because she showed me how to do it. And like I saw her do such a good job as a live host. And I said, "Oh, it's possible. It's possible. I can do it."
Yes.
But we had so much fun on her
Hmm.
live. We were just laughing so much and telling jokes, and we've been talking ever since. And it's just been wonderful. Oh, thank you for the butterflies. And so yeah, it's great having you here. But tell us about yourself. How did you get involved in this Dreaming Women 4 a.m. club business?
Yes, thank you for having me up here. I I'm a filmmaker. I, lived in LA forever. I'm still partially there. Like all my stuff is all my belongings are there. So I'm kind of like, a fire victim, but I grew up in Arizona. So I'm here right now. I'm helping my mom, but I kind of go back and forth between here, LA, and Northern California. But so I started my TikTok. I started on YouTube actually early, like 2006, my whole online thing. But then I started working in the industry. I got away from it, and then I took too long to get on the TikTok train. I'm kind of mad at myself about that because I love TikTok. Like it's like what all the other social media places are trying to be like. It's naturally like this, and
Yeah.
really good algorithm, like really finding soul try. And I felt really guided, like get on TikTok, get on. And I was like, I don't dance, I can't do it. But then I found like older people or other people doing like talking stuff like this and connecting. And I'm so mad that I let just dumb media stuff stop me from getting on here, because once I got on here, it was fast. I was like making videos. Then I said, all right. So from July, I said, I'm going to go live every day for the rest of 2024. Because I knew if I made it like that, I would go even on the days I felt insecure or uncomfortable or tired, and I did it. Except for December sort of fell apart because I got COVID. But so I, was online and everything. And most of what we talked about was loss, because I've lost some key people in my life and really didn't even want to live and was really messed up. So I know you didn't ask for my entire bio. I don't know. I'm trying to like cut out parts. I'm like, and then there was this cold winter night, and you guys are like, cut to the chase. No, but anyway, so, so I started to build a community of people who talked about loss and their dream, like people pursuing their dreams and loss. And then November 6th happened, and it was like I didn't think in a million. First of all, I remember I put the video out because I had to go to LA to vote. I was in Arizona, and I was so excited, and I was like, oh, I'm going to put my little I voted, video out, and I did. And I could start to tell some of the people that were my subscribers and were like kind of down with the thing were not happy with me talking about politics. So I had to make a decision. This is not just politics. This is serious. This isn't like blueberries versus raspberries. This is something else. And so I decided, okay, I'm going this direction. So I did lose some people, but I don't care. I gained other people, and I'm so grateful for that. But so I drove back from LA to Phoenix the same day I voted, and there were so many accidents on the 10. It was very stressful. Never seen that many accidents before. And I was listening to some TikTok people live as they were going over the results. And right when I got home, they called it early. Like we all know, they called it weirdly early.
Beautiful.
I had a physical reaction that I did not expect. I started shaking. I was crying. I felt kind of like the self-unaliving energy. Like I hadn't felt that way since I lost some people in my life. I really was like, I don't want to be here. I was freaking out like in a big way. And I went to lay down, and then all of a sudden in a jolt, and it was like around the 4 a.m. situation, I just got up and I felt completely calm. And I was like, this isn't what it seems like. This isn't, it was weird, and I've been calm ever since. The only thing that frazzled me was the fire the other day, and I got a little bit scared when I was dealing with the fire stuff. But I've been solid about this, that I know it's Lotus for the POTUS. Like, I've never seen him in there. It's never changed. So then I saw, Ethical Psychic, and I saw a few people that they're my go-tos that I go to every day that keep me grounded and keep me informed. The Empress, some other people. And it's like, even when I was driving the last few days, it was so hard because I kept wanting to like pull over and open TikTok and like, okay, what is everybody saying? These are like key days, So I just can't thank the community of people here, mostly women, but there are some incredible men that are just blowing me away with like their kindness, their intelligence, their passion. It's renewed my faith in especially white men. I'm like, you see a guy and you're like, oh God, is this a Trumper? Don't worry, I didn't vote for Trump. And you're like, okay. And then you like listen to him and he turns out he's amazing and he's smart. And so I don't know. It's been a journey. And I do try to see things as everything's an opportunity to learn. And when I lost a bunch of people in my life, the thing that really helped me kind of heal was every time I was freaking out about something is because I was attached to something. I was attached to an outcome that I wanted. And so that's the biggest lesson I can say out of all this is that if you're freaking out, it's because you're attached to something. Check where it is that you're attached to something and check it. Like, just go, why do I need this so much? Like, why did I need something to happen on the 6th? Or why do I need something to happen before the 20th? What is this revealing about me? What's happening? Because we're stronger than all this, we're spirits and we chose this, just like intuition influencer. Sorry, I don't know your name. What's your name?
Alyssa.
Yes. That's right. Sorry, I'm so bad at names. Just like you were saying, like, we all signed up for this. And I know the way that I'm like overly ambitious. And I know my spirit is just like that. It's like, you guys, it'll be amazing. We're going to be at the biggest shit show you've ever seen. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I come down here and I'm like, what? And Spirit's like, I told you about this. And I'm like, I thought you were exaggerating.
What did we sign up for?
I know, like, I would never. So I just have to remember that my spirit has said, yeah, you're strong enough. You can do this. So we're here for this adventure.
Let's talk a minute about self-care for dreaming women, because actually, Sky Girl, you brought it up at one of the lives we did together, and I took a day off from TikTok yesterday, and I also had some friends over and relaxed, and then today I went to a crystal shop to get some more crystals because I'm refreshing all my altars, and I'm also I have crystal grids. My whole apartment is a crystal grid. I have clear quartz that I put in every corner of every room to create an energetic structure. And so I'm going through and refreshing that, and also putting some extra crystals under my bed because I've been feeling very drained by this work. I mean, I've been talking to my guides like almost every day, coming on TikTok every day, sometimes twice a day. And it's kind of, I love it. I mean, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I came to do. And I'm very happy and joyful about the work, but I'm also recognizing that it can be tiring, and I don't want to start feeling, tired and burdened by this work because this is what I came to do. So I've just been, reflecting on things I can do. Like, I'm going to take a salt bath tonight too. Just things I can do to refresh my energy. And so let's hear from everybody here. What do you guys do, or what do you recommend? This is for people who are on this live. You probably are all exhausted, right? We're all exhausted by the state of the world.
I'm like trying to keep my eyes open. Yes. I just refreshed. That's funny you said refreshing your altars. I just did that today, and yet last night I moved my altars, put them on a new shelving, and just cleaned everything up. And that's funny that I think we're like, let's clean this energy out. Let's clean it up. But I've been, dealing with my mother's leaving this earth. That's been a distraction for the past 8 weeks. So my self-care is like, okay, now it's all of a sudden I'm in a quiet, empty house for the first time since I bought it. And I have access to my bathtub. And there's been salt baths. There's been several salt baths and one this morning. So I'm just right now catching up. So yeah.
Nice. What about you, Alyssa?
Yeah, I mean the salt baths every night, and you guys would laugh. I look like I'm in a colander, so I have a plastic bathtub because I have this beautiful shower and no bathtub when I moved in. But I'm like, oh no, girl needs her bath. So I've set up my Tupperware tub, and I've got all sorts of Himalayan salts and everything. And I light the candles, and I try to make it not look too tacky in there. But yeah, every night I do that. Every night I've been doing it, and I do a lot of my healing work. Like today, I did some. I was working on a friend of mine by proxy. I just kind of sit and ground in that. I'm getting just this urge to purge everything. And so I have just been getting rid of bags and bags of stuff. And I'm also getting that I'm supposed to eat lightly, which has not, like, ask me how well that's going post holidays. But the one thing I'm doing is my intermittent fasting. But y'all would be really impressed with what I could pack into those 8 hours I do eat in a day. But I do find that, when I stop eating at 7 or whatever, and just drink more water and tea and all that stuff, I feel lighter. I feel better. And the other thing, well, guided meditations and walking. I've got a dog who keeps me literally grounded. And like I said, one of my words of the day was ground. Like, we need to be out there grounding, no matter what the weather is where you are. Today was a beautiful sunny day, and just that powdery snow coming down. It was gorgeous. And so I feel when I really start to drag and I feel really awful, I'm amazed at how fast just running down the street with my dog it can make me feel better, like instantly. So yeah, highly recommend that.
Speaking of
Where are you?
grounding, I bought myself a hematite ring today.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I got
grounding
you.
and also good for conducting healing.
Excellent.
I figured out
should
what it
That's
was.
definitely-
nice. I used to take a lot of Epsom salt baths, but we had a plumbing issue here, so I haven't been able to do that as much as I want. It's driving me nuts. But my dogs keep me grounded. And also, I think a big thing is to consciously bring yourself into the moment, because you could do all the grounding things and still be obsessing and still not be present. And so I try really hard to make sure that I love that one, to make sure I'm like, okay, come into this moment right now. What are you feeling? Breathe, release it. And with my dogs, I really try to be present with them, because, we can be petting them, but we're not really present. So I think that's my biggest thing that I do. And I take naps. I meditate and nap, because a lot of my messages come to me when I'm asleep. Sometimes I'm not even aware of what the messages are. I just know that I've gotten some information, and I wake up and I feel more grounded. So that's what I would say.
Love it.
Get present.
Great. All right, what should we talk about next? I'll let someone else take over with the next topic.
There was a question.
Oh yeah, let's take questions. I forgot. We're supposed to take
Yeah.
questions.
There's people wanting answers.
I'm so excited to have you all here.
I
I'm
know,
just
it's so
loving
cool.
it. It's like a party.
Exactly.
live,
Saturday
so-
night. Saturday Night Live.
That's
Janelle is saying, does anyone have any advice for connecting with my guides as a beginner? I'll leave that to the panel here.
What was the question again?
Any advice for connecting with one's guides as a beginner?
I can start. I'm sure we all have something to say about that. I do teach. So I teach psychic development. I teach medical intuition, which is my specialty. And I've also taught mediumship and Reiki and energetic healing and lots of things. If you go to my profile, you can see the courses I teach. And I do have a free event coming up on medical intuition and ancestral healing. I forget when it is, but it's in the link. So I have taught this. That's the reason I said all that. This is based on actual experience teaching. A lot of people ask me this. The key, of course, to any kind of psychic development is having a regular meditation practice. So meditating daily is going to help you start to connect. I recommend that people do a higher self meditation, because if you can connect with your higher self on a regular basis, you're going to start getting information. But also through meditation, you can start asking to meet your guides. And so there's lots of guided meditations on YouTube that you can go to, how to meet your spirit guide. You can pick any one. I like this one. There's so many good ones out there, but there's this one person I like called Pura Rasa, and I find that she's very good. There's so many. There's the Insight app. which also has a lot of great meditations. But meditating and asking to speak to your guides, and then whenever you do get any messages, to always try to get some clarity on who you're speaking to. You know, ask them what name do they go by. Ask them if they work with certain symbols, or how will you know when they're coming to speak to you. Like a guide might come in looking a certain way or with a certain symbol, or a certain greeting, and you can ask them what that is. You can also ask them to come speak to you when you're dreaming at night. So you can put a notebook and a pen by the bed, and just every night, you know, say a little prayer. I want to speak to my spirit guides tonight. Please visit me and help me to remember my dreams in the morning. And then as soon as you wake up, even before you get out of bed, you can keep your eyes closed, just start writing whatever comes to mind. And, you know, that's another way. You can also ask for symbols. You can say, okay, I want to start talking to my guides, and I want you to show up in my life in a particular way. Like you can say, you know, show me an angel number, or show me a color, or show me and work through an animal. Or you can say, like what I used to do when I was developing, is say, I want everything spelled out in black and white in letters in English. and so I do sometimes get Spanish or French, but mostly English. And I would like billboards, license plates, bumper stickers, books falling off the shelf. I had to get it in words. Some people like to get numbers or colors or other things. So however you want to get it, ask for that, and then be open and look for it. Okay, that's what I got. What else? What do you all have? Or you want to answer
the guided meditations? When I met, I went through a huge depression after my brother and my dad died, and I was married to the wrong man, and I was kind of feeling myself, feeling sad. So I was doing a lot of meditations, and I wanted to meet my higher self. So I did a simple guided meditation from YouTube, and it said, it was making me pull out from my third eye, and that's your higher self, and ask its name. And it said Yakin. And I'm like, Yakin? What the heck is Yakin? And I mean, I started looking, when I came out of it, I started looking it up, what is Yakin? I spelled it many different ways. And Yakin is a Arabic word, which means certainty. And it's a central concept in Islam, and it means certainty or firm belief. So my higher self was like, believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. And so I realized that this guide was me. It's me. I had to start listening to me and trusting me. So, and guides can come in. I've met my guide, and they've taken many different forms. And I think you have to trust your imagination. And so, because a lot of times people second guess and go, that's just my imagination. Yeah, it's divinely influenced. It is your imagination, but it's also real at the same time. You've created that, and it's a creation given to you also at the same time. It's co-created by you and the divine. So trust it.
Yes. I love that.
I wanted to say something. Sorry, Singer Mom said, I'm scared to open the door. You mean to your spirituality, to guides? Is that, you mean the deeper, is that what you mean by that? I'm going to guess until you answer, but okay, yeah. My experience with spirituality and guides is it's just like it. Once you start to connect with it, you realize it's always been there. It's always been this familiar energy, this familiar voice, and my guides are kind of funny too. It's like, they're funny, they're sarcastic. Like, I don't have like really serious, I probably do have serious ones. Maybe I even filter it and make it funny, but whatever it is, like, I think it just has to be, like right now, I feel like they're working with me on words, like visualizing answers to things instead of feeling. I've been given words, and I usually don't like that, but they'll say practice. And so I'll say, okay, I don't even know. I can't think of a question. Like, should I do something? And it'll say an answer, yes or no, or left or right or whatever. And I'll try it. And if it didn't work, I'll go, okay, this didn't work, so I got it wrong. And I don't know how to describe it, but the point is, I don't know why I just told that example. It's a horrible example. But it's fun and it's you and it's nothing unfamiliar, truly. Like, I feel like you're going to realize how much of you it's always been, and it's going to feel like it's just going to expand you. It's not going to be like a stranger there. It's more going to be like more of you and your
I
favorite
think that
people.
the fear is a byproduct of religious upbringing and religious training, where we are told in Christianity not to trust that stuff,
Yeah.
and that it's coming from the outside and it's always something evil. And so if you're afraid of that, then you have to look at your programming. You have to deconstruct, because you shouldn't be afraid of yourself. And you need to trust that you are a part of God. That's the whole thing in this metaphysical movement. If you're coming out of that stuff, is to understand you are God. And we are all a part of God. We are all together God, experiencing this planet and in this teleplay, right? We're in a game, virtual game. So just trust that you know, and evil things aren't coming after you all the time. That's religious persecution.
It's crazy, isn't it? When I get people, like when I get the people from the other side of TikTok commenting on my stuff, and they go right to demons. They're like, oh, well, and so I thought, well, so it's so, like they say, you're full of blank, you're talking to demons. And I think it's really interesting that they go from me talking about, spirit is saying, let's love each other, something very benign and lovely. And they'll be like, you're talking to demons. Like, so you think that I'm full of crap, but that's true. You're right. It's programming. And I'm going to echo something both of you said, or things that both of you said, which is, this is really about trusting and loving yourself. Now, in this moment, in real time, I'm going to tell you, I'm hearing something from spirit, because Lulu says, and this is like, I don't know how many times today I've seen Lulu. And spirit has drawn my attention to Lulu. So I don't know what that is, but that's a message for me I got to work out. But anyway, your point is, I have a problem of believing in myself, and that was mine. My whole journey began after a really difficult breakup, and I thought, this is going to mean something. I am going to love myself. And it was really my self-love, self-trust journey that developed this, incidentally, that developed this, these abilities. And to your other points that you've made, it's always been there. You're always saying it's always been there. And if you reverse engineer moments in your life where you wish you had done something else, mine was saying yes to my second husband's proposal. I remember, again, how I felt. I remember thinking thoughts that weren't necessarily mine and pushing them away. I remember avoiding my own eyes in the mirror in the bathroom after, when I went to wash my hands. I remember all that. And I'm like, that's so find one of those moments where you would love to go back and revise it and say, what was your body doing? What were the thoughts in your head? What did you feel like? What was going on with you? That is your higher self talking. That is, your guides. And I use, by the way, just to add, I use muscle testing. That's how I've been playing 20 questions with spirit forever. And I can even ask, like, who's talking right now? Who is that? So yeah, being the human pendulum really helps. And I've got the sway test pinned on my profile, because to me, it's just the quickest and easiest way for people to really start trusting themselves, trusting their own bodies, and trusting their higher selves.
Yeah. Can I add one thing to this? My I would have to say, is when my grandfather passed away, and I had dreams about him, and I kept telling him, I was like 16, and I kept telling him that he was dead. And I go, what are you doing? And he would like kind of smile and walk away. Mm-hmm. And I had, and then that's what started things. And I now he's probably one of my strongest guides. And then I lost a bunch of people that were really important to me. I call them my key Jenga pieces in my life. My brother and a very close friend of mine, within a year of each other. And talking to them and having them be in my life as a guide was helpful to me. And that might be helpful to you if you have someone that you love that you've lost. Maintaining that relationship and maintaining that connection, they could actually be one of your guides, or they could just help you in that communication energy to understand what that feels like. So then maybe you can discover who your other guides are. Just want to add that.
Love it.
Great advice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot of ancestors with me, people that I was close to, and then they died, and now we still work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Oh wait, we got sound effect.
I don't know what, I think those are gifts, right? All those sound effects.
Yeah. So
Love
much
it.
going on with TikTok. It's funny.
Oh, I just got a donation. I've been getting donations today.
Nice.
Today
I
and
You deserve
yesterday.
it.
Denise Manning and Kari Peterson. And Allison Cabellin
Nice.
and Tim Horgan. Oh, and then I got all these people sending me money for readings I'm not giving, so I had to refund those because of the fraudsters out there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Ain't that
Someone
the
asked, why is time moving so fast? And I've noticed that today.
Yeah.
There's been some, like, I blink and it's 2 hours have gone by. I think we
Going
want to
so
get through this
fast.
quickly. We just want to get to it, gosh darn it. You know what I mean? I think we're getting there's a group anticipation. And I think we're just kind of like, let's fly through this.
Hmm.
Let's, something. I don't know.
I can't really see the comments very well, but are the moderators pinning any comments?
You can't pin when you have guests. It can only be
Oh,
when
that's
there's
why.
one. Yeah, it's annoying.
And
I
you
saw
can't, and you
Hannah.
can't see the comments when you have guests, right? You can only see one at
Yeah.
a time.
No, you can see a few. It depends.
I can
But
only see
it
one.
gets pinned. Love Tam asked, "How soon after someone passed can you communicate with them?" So I'll say my grandfather was a year, but my friend who was also at one point my boyfriend, who we promised each other I made him promise whoever died first would let the other one know that there's an afterlife and that they're okay when we were like in our early 20s. And he was like, "Oh my God, that's so stupid. What are you talking about?" And I'm like, you never know, you never know. But he knew when he died that I would be messed up. So he was immediately, I mean, he was there within 24 hours of him dying. So I don't know. I think it depends on your relationship, your human relationship, your soul relationship, what they have to go through when they pass. What do you guys think about that as well?
Well, I was trained as a medium by the spiritualists. I was actually trained by a lot of different people, but the spiritualists taught us that you're not supposed to try to communicate with people right away because they need time
Yeah.
to adjust to their new world. And so my experience has been that generally that's true, that a lot of spirits, especially if they die suddenly or shockingly, or if they're upset, if they weren't ready to die, like they died and they didn't think they were going to die, or if they died with, some, trauma,
Yeah.
then they're going to need time. You're not going to want to try to bring them through right away. But then there are other people like your friend who, if they're ready and they're kind of more spiritually awake, they might be able to come through faster. But we shouldn't expect them to come through right away.
No.
We should give them, I would say, I think they used to tell us like a month after they pass before we, start calling them back. But, it does depend on the spirit.
different? Yeah.
I also have found that people, the longer they've been dead for, if they haven't decided to come back again, the longer that they've been dead for, they're going to lose their ego. They're not going to be that person we knew in this lifetime anymore because they've deprogrammed away from that. They're becoming more of their pure soul. So after a year or two, they kind of start fading. You'll feel their presence, but they won't be that strong personality that they were because they aren't that personality anymore. They haven't been that person for a long time. So they start becoming further and further away from who they were in this lifetime.
Well, but it does depend because there are some spirits who have been given the task or have taken up the task of being guides.
Whoa.
And then they will, isn't that beautiful? They will stay with you for years. Like my great grandmother, she was teaching me before she died. And after she died, she continued working with me for like another 10, 15 years.
Yes, my grandmother did too. And then my dad has been with me this whole time. And since my mother's died, I realize now that I miss him. I'm like, why am I missing my dad? Well, he's with her now. And they've gone in there, he's working with her. But he's been with me for 10 years. And suddenly I'm missing him. I'm like, where are you, Dad? So, yeah.
I saw two questions I want to answer. One was, does the Lotus Queen know? And the answer is yes. What was the exact question? Does she know who she is, or does she know? Now I forgot the question. But let me just say yes to everything. Yes, she knows what happened. Yes, she's a gifted person. a lot of people have had dreams of her. That means that she's astral traveling and meeting up with people on the astral plane. You can't do that unless you're at a certain level. Like I do that. Some people, different teachers will do that, but everyone is not going to do that. So the fact that she has visited so many of us in our dreams means that she has a certain level of awareness. I also just saw her this week with a giant medicine man, this like African looking like Zulu tribe from South Africa, gigantic medicine man with her, protecting her. And so I think she also has really powerful protection. The second question I saw was, do we need to prepare for civil unrest? And I would say no. We need to prepare for disruptions in our grid or disruptions in our internet, disruptions in some of our basic, like these fires. These fires are very disruptive. People can't drink the water. They can't live in their homes. They don't, disruptions to the traffic. You can't use the roads in certain parts of LA. The National Guard is blocking people off from going places. So I would say don't prepare for civil unrest, prepare for disruptions, and prepare to have what you need so that you don't panic if you can't, if you can't get online, you have some friends down the street, you can go sit on their porch and relax and not get upset, and make sure you have water, that kind of thing. But so do other people want to answer those two questions, or you want to answer some other questions?
I got emotional when you first started talking about Lotus, because I was thinking about when she was first the vice president. I didn't feel that much for her. I didn't feel positive. I didn't feel negative. I just kind of felt neutral, just like, okay. And then when Biden stepped down, I thought, okay, like I still didn't feel anything. I just remember there was a moment where it switched. And I can't believe I could ever look at her like she was just a normal person. If there was ever a time, because she is a normal person, but the powerfulness of her position right now and her as a spirit that she's come into this world, that this is what she's taking on right now. There's such a beautiful energy. Like I'm getting chills everywhere. Like when I really think about her, there's such a beautiful, powerful energy around her that I'm in awe of the fact that I didn't see it initially. You know what I mean?
Well, nobody did. I think she had been held down by the very structure, the very patriarchal system that is now imploding. Yeah. And it's like she finally found her voice. But I feel like you did. Like I remember thinking, did we timeline jump or something? That one day, I remember where I was. I was in a Walmart parking lot, and I'd heard the news, and I saw some clip on my phone, and I thought, this is not the same energy at all. This is not at all. And this is because I thought I was preparing for, oh God, the world's not ready for that. Oh no. Is he going to pick Gavin Newsom? Like before he actually even, mentioned her, I thought there's no way, because as you said, she was just almost like a figurehead, just a two-dimensional kind of a character for that many years. And I think people didn't realize, I don't think she knew her own power until that moment.
No, she was ready for it, and when she came into it, it's like there. I don't think she knew she had it in her either. You know what I'm saying? Agreed. She had an awakening herself.
Yes. So, we all felt that.
Yeah.
She was busy cooking.
Yes. That's right. Mama
going after bad guys.
And then when they say she's not qualified, it's the most ridiculous. I mean, my God, you can't be more qualified. It's
she was more qualified than any other candidate for years.
Yeah,
she's the most qualified candidate. But that's racism. That's misogyny. What's it called? I never say it right.
Yeah, you got it.
Misogyny and racism combined, right? That Black women encounter all the time. That you have to be so much more qualified than everybody to be considered legitimate to even be present. It's interesting. I have an interesting connection to her. We have all of these things in common. Like we both went to Howard. We both went to Berkeley. We're the same exact age. We're both mixed. And so I've always felt, and I lived in California when she was doing a lot of work she was doing as a senator, and I was impressed with her. I mean, those congressional hearings, the way she used to question those various nefarious characters, right? I was so impressed with her. Um, but she wasn't, you know, when they were running, there were some things like she wasn't as progressive as I wanted her to be. But I just always felt that she wasn't able to be fully forthright about her positions on things because she was in, yeah, this patriarchy, and she was in the Biden administration, and she was in these roles where she had to, you know, play by the rules. But I always had this very strong sense that as soon as she gets into position in this role, we're going to see who she is and how incredibly powerful she is and progressive she is. But that's something that couldn't be revealed, you know?
Oh, can I say something? I forgot. I was doing some teaching and some workshops with people in the corporate space back in like 2013. And I remember looking for clips. I was teaching a women's course, and there's a scant few examples of women leaders. And I came across this. Now, what was her position at that time? Didn't matter. I saw this woman speaking publicly, and I brought the clip in as an example of fabulous public speaking. And I heard myself say, pay attention to this woman. She will be president of the United States someday. And I heard myself say it, and I saw it in the people's eyes. They were kind of like, "Oh, that's a little extreme, isn't it?" I mean, it's a group of women in Toronto, like, huh? And
Wow.
it was one of those where I said it, didn't realize it. Then when she became VP, I thought, well, okay, close enough. But I still didn't get that. I thought, why did I was kind of disappointed, if I'm going to be honest and speak my shadow. I was disappointed that we didn't see more of what she was made of. And I thought, well, she's not what I thought she was. And then she proved us all wrong. But again, back like 12 years ago, I said this wild random thing, which I suppose was precognizant. I don't know.
Let's hope so. Yes.
Let's hope so. I know. Did I just jinx something? I don't know.
No.
Somebody,
No. You
somebody in the
solidified
comments
something.
just said we should do the meditation at 11:11,
11:11. I was going to
which is
suggest that.
which is 8:11 our time,
Yeah.
which is in a few minutes.
Okay.
I did say I was going to do a meditation tonight. I've been doing meditations during each live. So maybe we should do that in,
Yeah.
7 minutes? How many minutes? 7 minutes.
7. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. We've got some other questions. Someone wants us to take a poll as to whether we see him being sworn in on the 20th. Is that a resounding no?
I have a new energy about it.
Okay.
I think that, well, I don't know. My thing is that I feel like strongly to switch off of dates because I was clinging to dates a little bit there. I was doing that too because I would feel energy around a date. And how do we know if something huge isn't happening behind the scenes? And then it just makes us look stupid publicly because we're like, I set a date, but I'm talking about I felt something significant, you know, for a certain date. But anyways, what I feel like now is even if he is, he's still going to end. He's still going to be pulled out soon. There's things in the works right now that are going to remove him. So if he actually physically goes through the 20th or doesn't is now irrelevant. You know? So, and also you were saying this, Jennifer, Lisa, you were saying this a lot about them gauging civil unrest, you know, trying to find the best path that lessens that and protects us. So I think there's that kind of stuff. And I don't know, just things are rolling out. But I feel like all of us should stop being stressed out about that. I know we don't want to see him inaugurated, but you have to just think like, it's like a little kid that's been bad all day. And you're like, just let him have this hamburger. He wants to sit in the corner. Just let him do whatever he wants to do because the rest of the day he's done. You know, that's how I feel about that.
Give him extra ketchup. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see him being inaugurated. Maybe I shouldn't have said that word.
For our movie, our character.
Yeah, in this story, I don't see that character being, you know, ceremonialized in that way. I keep seeing her being ceremonialized, but I feel like there's a big delay with that. Like it's not going to happen soon, and also because another detail that I think makes me think this too is over the weeks, whenever I see her, on that podium with the hand in the air giving the oath, I always see the kind of disturbances around her. Like I think I saw the fires, which are, I think, California now, fires, and I'm seeing like people running around. And so that makes me think that, there's going to be an interruption to the proceedings. And I kind of beginning to feel confirmed in that because of this whole January 19th nonsense. That suggests to me that he thinks he won't be having a January 20th party, and so he's trying to have a January 19th party because he anticipates not having a January 20th party.
A follower said to me today, or someone, I think they messaged me, they said, do you think that maybe he might try to sneak in not like be inaugurated, like I said, didn't say the word, sworn in on the 19th? And I went, oh, I wouldn't put it past him.
He did say that at some point. He said he wanted to rush it. Yeah.
So,
well, remember months ago he was trying to get them the Congress to declare that he was already in the role months before he was in the role.
The thing is, it wouldn't be legal. I could see them doing that for optics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't be legal.
Right.
What if he's involved in? What if he's being a mole? What if they've offered him a deal? And they do go through with the 20th. So everybody thinks it's normal, but it's actually not. And then soon after that, they start to reveal things. But they've got to get everybody out of DC. They've got to get the raspberries out. They've got to get the blueberries out. Maybe they need to just kind of get this clear because he's not going to be safe either. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never see him being in jail a day. Not a day.
I never have.
I don't either.
That would explain. That would be a good reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see him. I see him having a not very long life expectancy.
Me too.
Yes.
And I see him in a hospital, which is kind of like a jail. And so it's more like a hospital detention. And I see it as, there's no time for him to end up in a jail because he just isn't going to be here that long. So I'm getting a few months.
We have one more minute until 11:11, I guess.
Oh, okay. So I was going to lead a meditation, short one. And so let's do that. 11:11. Everyone can just like kind of wiggle around and get comfortable and not knock over the lamp. And let's take some nice deep breaths. Yawning also really relaxes the body, so you can yawn. And if you want, you can close your eyes. And let's take some more nice deep breaths. And as we do, let's imagine we are inhaling relaxing blue light. And just allow that blue light to move all through your body, relaxing every part of your body. And with each exhale, imagine you are releasing gray smoke. All fear, doubt, and worry is being released with each out-breath. Breathing in the peace, breathing out the fear. So that with each deep breath that you take, you feel yourself becoming more relaxed, more at peace, and more free. Now that you are all relaxed, Let's focus our attention on the crown of our head, on the top of our head, and notice there's a wonderful tingling sensation on the top of your head. And as you focus on it, the sensation increases as you open up your crown chakra and you form a wonderful cylinder of bright white light on the top of your head. And as you look up, you see a giant golden sun, and you recognize this golden sun, for this is your higher self, your source, where you come from and where you return. And you connect your little self to your higher self, and you begin to charge up, just like a battery. All of that divine source energy flows down into the crown of your head and moves down through each chakra, down to the bottom of your feet and around, and you are now encapsulated in a bubble of rainbow light. With each breath, you breathe in more source light, healing and wisdom, expanding your aura out, feeling bigger, brighter, and bolder. In this expanded state, we are ready to visualize the future, to dream it into existence. So let us now begin to dream, looking into the future, begin to see the future unfold as you would have it unfold. See yourself happy and healthy. See yourself free. See all of your dreams coming true. See your family healthy and happy, your community. See us all dancing in the streets and celebrating our Lotus Queen being seated in a position of authority. See her on the dais with her hand raised, giving her oath to protect us, to protect our constitution, our realm. See all the people dancing and laughing, hugging. Feel the joy, the love, the unity. Feel it coursing through you. Feel the high vibration of the planet as we ascend. Vision, vision, the world at peace and unity. And now pull out and look from a distance and see the whole planet covered in light. See the light grid of all the light beings uniting and sending their light one to another, and plug yourself into this light grid so that you can send light and receive light. Send healing and receive healing. We are all connected. We are all one. We are all powerful. We are all plugged in, receiving and sending. And we are calling out to our relatives and other star systems to assist us, thanking them for assisting us, for they have assisted us already. We can see the earth ascending, entering a golden age of peace, prosperity, justice, equality, and love. It's just so beautiful. Now that we have dreamed our world into existence, we are ready to return our awareness back to the here and now, to this moment in time, knowing that the future has already been created, that we are the creators. And we bring that joy and that love and that sense of confidence, of hope, of accomplishment back with us into the here and now, embodying that feeling, even as we wait for the future to arrive. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes, and come back to it.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
That was good.
And if people want to say anything in the comments about what they saw or felt, feel free to share.
I want to stay there.
Right? I know every time I do this, I want to stay there.
Oh,
I heard that Imagine song actually, and I guess because it's recent from the funeral, but it seemed to be a nice backdrop song for what you were doing. Well, pretty mellow.
A lot of people are sharing their. I love those comments right now.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow.
We need everybody to be calm and joyful. That's what you need to do this week. Is just be calm and joyful. Be in the moment.
Coffee garden.
oh, I like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony.
Love that. We did light up the globe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did it. We don't have to be petty, but we can all say we did it at the end. We did it. We did it because it's going to be all of us, right?
Yeah.
But you see, we won't even have to brag or anything. We won't have to say, oh, look at the heart. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because what's going to happen is because we're entering this time of the divine feminine, what's going to happen is everyone's going to recognize that it was the Dreaming Women, it was the 4 a.m. Club, it was all these women all over the United States and many outside of the United States who were all telling everybody, right? And people weren't listening. And then people are going to realize, oh, intuition is real. And feminine intuition is a thing that we should trust. And it's going to shift the way people think about intuition and about women. And we're not going to have to say anything.
I love that.
Are you going to write the book? You need to write the book.
I don't know. I don't
I think
know.
that would be a
I'm
great
already
book.
looking at
The
another
4
book.
a.m.
What? What?
Well, and
The
the
next book
filmmaker in
is
me
the
wants
4
to
a.m.
do a documentary about what's going on with this and emphasize her as well.
Who
Who's
does?
that?
Well, the filmmaker, the documentary filmmaker in me wants to,
Oh, yeah.
but then
Yes.
I'm also like, I'm surviving this, but then there's part of me that wants to try to capture this because for the history, I mean, it's going to be just small little line, the 4 a.m. club, but it's really like a huge thing that was like so much of everybody.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Men have been writing our history for eons, and this is going to be our first piece of herstory. You
Yes.
know, this is about the feminine, so we're going to have to. It's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to have to write it down, or else some man's going to come along and do it for
Oh
us.
God,
Yeah.
you're right. That's motivating, if nothing else.
Right?
We do need to. Absolutely. I would watch that doc. I know a lot of people who would. You guys are on it.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
And
And
so it
it's
is.
also connected to TikTok too. I mean,
It's
I
so-
feel like, TikTok is such a huge way we connected.
It is. It's such a great app, and there's so many, and when I meet people who don't know about it, I'm just like, oh, you're really missing out. Like today I was talking to one of my teachers, one of my former teachers from years ago. And, she's quite elderly at this point. And I was talking to her about, all my predictions and the dreaming women and stuff. And she's like, yeah, I'm not on social media. I don't do social media. Right. And I'm like, well, I'm also on YouTube. But like, she's just completely not involved in any of that. And, there's all these people like that who just don't know about this amazing community,
Mhm.
It
feels like it has a consciousness all of its own. It's totally different than any other platform.
Yes.
It is. It is. It's a whole nother world.
Mhm.
And to think that half of the country is on here, right? So it's not
Right.
it's not this small little niche, right? 172 million people are on this app. It is really a world in its own. Yeah.
Yep. And it's not going anywhere.
I don't
I'm
see
not-
it getting banned.
No.
Nope.
I don't see it going anywhere. I just have to make sure that we don't have the wrong people take it over,
Yeah. No Elon or sorry, I shouldn't
Ruin
say
it.
his name.
Yeah.
Can't say the names. It's how I told you guys I felt guided to post on here, and I waited a long time because I was really afraid. I don't know why, just because I've been through all this stuff, and I wasn't. When I first started online, I was younger. I was positive. I was like, it's just easier when you're younger. And I was like, I don't know. So I finally was posting, every day. And one of the things I started learning about was astrology, like getting deeper into astrology. And I talked about Pluto being in Capricorn, and it was ending that. And I have a Libra rising, lots of Libra and Aries in my chart. And so when I started learning on TikTok about this, because I really didn't know the deeper parts of astrology, I was like, oh my God, it makes so much sense now. The hell that I've been through and the loss in my life. And anytime I tried to attach myself to something, it would go away. People, projects, homes, jobs, everything. And that video was the one that went viral. Like I was just talking, like, cause I just made video, and that video went viral, and that helped me establish sort of, platform. It has like 280,000 views. It's not millions of views, but it's like for me on TikTok, I was very excited because every 5 minutes, it's like bing, 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 bing. And you're like, oh my God. But it was so validating to me because I always said, TikTok algorithm is spiritual. And that's what I felt. I felt like just put yourself out there, talk about the things that are important to you. And it's like it'll all work out. The right people will find you. It's beautiful.
I second that. We're all here, right?
Yeah. You're learning to talk in code, Tracy. I know. I find myself doing this when I'm, offline too. I'm like the blueberries, and then people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh,
Too good at code.
Someone asked our signs. Gemini here.
Scorpio.
Aquarius.
you're just doing sun signs."
We don't have to. I could Gemini with Moon in Sagittarius.
Woo woo woo. I'm Sagittarius Sun, Libra rising, Aries Moon.
No, go ahead. Try to
Aquarius with, I think, Pisces moon. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely Aquarius. I'll look at my
I
moon.
love Aquarians.
This is going to be an important time for you, Aquarius.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gearing up.
Yay!
I'm Scorpio sun. I think it's Gemini moon and Leo rising.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Powerful.
Oh, I'm
I'm
Aries
confused.
rising.
You know, the rising used to be considered the main sign. It was only
Yeah.
like, I think in the 70s or something that they started saying that the sun sign was the main sign. So a lot of people are like, how do I know? You can get it for free online, for free. Don't pay. You know, some people are going to trick you and be like, put your credit card in here. Don't do that. You can get it for free. And learning about your sun or your rising sign, like start reading that when you're learning up, you know, looking up stuff. It's going to change your life. You're going to see yourself in a new way. Who's that?
Oh,
This is Jojo.
Jojo.
Ah!
TikTok.
The kitten's attacking him. That was the kitten and him play.
Cute.
Yeah, here's his tail. Oh, I know.
It's like Toto. It's adorable.
Yeah.
You know, my mom was an astrologer, and she taught me to be very skeptical of, astrologers, and to recognize that, like with everything, there are really good astrologers who really know what they're doing, and then there are others who are just kind of playing around.
Yeah.
And when you have a really good astrologer, it doesn't compare to going online and getting a free chart or whatever. It's like when you have a really good astrologer, they can really explain things. My mother did a chart for me, and she used to do charts for all my friends. And she would do these 10-page charts. I think it's called the progressive chart. Is that right? I don't know all the terms, but so it's your natal chart, but then it looks into the future.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And she combined Western and Eastern astrology, so Vedic astrology and Western.
Sidereal. Yeah.
Huh?
Sidereal? The
I
Eastern?
don't know that term. But she would give me this 10-page report, and years later, I wish I still had it. I don't have it anymore, but I would look at it and be so surprised at how accurate it was. And also, I went to Sri Lanka, and I got a Vedic astrology reading from from the Hindu tradition, and this guy was amazing, and it really again did not compare to the people you sometimes see who are just kind of playing around like, oh, this means this. Yeah. It's an art, kind of a lost art, but
it's deep.
In Eastern, I'm like Libra sun, Taurus moon, and still Leo rising. The rising stays the same in either one. So that's what's interesting about those.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot changing astrologically right now. I mean, if you're going to get into astrology, this is the time to do it because
right, Pluto and Aquarius. It's so exciting.
Yeah, Aquarius is a big one. But the lunar or the nodes are switching. They were North Node Aries, South Node Libra. And now they're switching, I think today, to Pisces North Node, Virgo South Node, which means we're all going to be more going towards spirituality and away from logic, away from having to prove things, but actually have it be proved in a different kind of way, different energies. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it did switch today. That's what I thought. I'm like, every day is blending together. And I think something happened earlier today and it happened a week ago and vice versa. Like yesterday, no, wait, 2 weeks ago. When was that? What's happening?
Right.
The longest 10 days of our life.
Yeah.
Yes.
The longest 2 months of our life.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's like one of those dreams where you're trying to get somewhere and you can never. I actually had one of those a few days ago where it's like, and I was trying to just get changed to go out into a beach, interestingly, but this big windstorm came up. I could not. I just was stuck and just mired in this place. I was like, what's taking so long? What am I doing? That's where we are right now. It's like we just want to get out of the beach. We just want to party. And there doesn't seem to be any physical boundary, but just there's so much going on beneath the surface.
Oh, cool.
Look at this. It is 2025, darn it.
Oh yeah, reminder, everybody, follow everybody here. These are all great channels. And thank you to everybody for the gifts and the likes. A lot of likes. The gifts are so fun. Oh, look at the rose. Well, look at the roses Jonathan got. Yeah, everyone deserves a rose.
Cool.
Thank
I
you.
think if I were to have a closing statement, I just want to say, don't cling to dates or anything. And the reason why a lot of intuitive people don't get a full read on it is because none of this has ever happened before. This is new. So I've always said my guides could be showing me exactly what's going to happen, and I don't recognize it because it's never happened before. So I'm thinking, I don't know what that is. But anyways, do you guys have any information for me? You know what I mean? And they're probably like, we're telling you. So just know that we're headed in the right direction, and just stay connected to yourself and stay grounded and watch it all unfold. And don't be so caught up on dates and events and like, well, this is supposed to happen and this is supposed to happen. I don't know. All I know is we're headed in this direction.
Yeah, I want to say something similar to that. I've been getting so much information for so many weeks now, and then whenever I would try to tune into my guides and say, "Well, what about this date?" or "What about?" and they would always say, same thing. Oh, we already told you how it's going to go. And they would like reiterate it. And so then what I started to realize is it's not so much about looking for dates, but it's looking for things to happen that have been foretold. Mm-hmm. And so, like, one of the things that was foretold in my story was that Starboy was the key character. And nobody was talking about that. And now everybody's talking about that. So that's like, oh, so that was foretold and now it's coming to transpire, right? Yep. And then the same with so many things that have happened, like the joust. Like I was told that this was not just about our realm, but it was about lots of realms. And now we have news out there saying, Canada's joust was finagled with, and the UK and France and Romania and Georgia, and right? Yep. And so what was foretold is coming to pass. And then the fires in California, I kept seeing fire, and I kept seeing, destruction and interruption, and I didn't know what that was going to be. And now I'm seeing it in California. And so again, what was foretold is transpiring, which tells me we're getting closer to the date when we see her with her hand in the air. And so if we see, and I was told we have to go through some things. And so as we go through things, I'm going to be saying, okay, this is what is foretold. So therefore we're getting closer to our happy ending. Instead of looking at dates, I'm looking for things that the dreaming women have said coming to pass. And we've all said different things. And when we see those things come to pass, we should all feel confident that, okay, we're getting closer, right?
Yeah.
We're all pretty mellow after that.
Peaceful.
Just so peaceful. I love it.
In my meditation that you were doing, I have stuff going on, in my personal life with my mother and stuff. And I was trying to picture political stuff, but I pictured her. I pictured her safe and comfortable and happy and healthy. And I was walking through her living room, and on the TV in the background, they were talking about President Harris. And then I just kind of looked over at the TV and I saw her in a dark suit, and it was just like the news. It was like a normal day. So it felt really good. I wanted to share that.
Oh, I love that. In the background, President Harris.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Well, it's been so wonderful having you all on here. Oh, you about to speak, Alyssa?
No, I was simply going to say it was words of wisdom, but you know what I'm going to end off with is just to say, relax. Nothing is under control, and that's that's it. Really, I mean, we are just being called to look inside ourselves and see what we can learn about ourselves right now. That's what all of this is about. When you feel stressed, it means we got to let go of something and look within. The answers are all here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The answers are all here. Yeah, we all have the answers. That's the thing.
Yep.
And we've seen that since the election. Since
Joust.
November.
Yes,
Since
yes.
November. We have seen that so many of us are stepping into our power, becoming aware of your gifts. All of these people on here are recognizing that they are powerful, that they have gifts, and those of us like us four, we're just part of like the light brigade. Our job was to bring the lantern and be at the front of the line, swinging the lantern. But the power really isn't in the lantern. It's in the huge line of people, right? Who are all marching to the same song, dancing to the same song.
I saw someone in the comments say they got 2 follows from Ethical Psychic. So I just want to remind you guys, she has multiple accounts that are fake. They're not her accounts, but you know what I mean? To be mindful of that.
I'm not going to ever DM you and ask for money or offer you a reading. I'm not doing readings right now. But there are lots of fraudsters out there pretending to be me. Do not give them money.
I'm not big enough to have a person imitating me.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Me.
Wow,
If I DM you, it's me. I'm not going to ask you for money, but I'll DM you.
You've made it when you got fakes out there.
Right?
Exactly.
What did they say? Flattery is the most sincere form of
Imitation. Yeah.
Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
So true.
Yep.
I should be flattered.
Very.
But I do worry about people getting scammed, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I think people who are on here pretty much know there's a lot of the big accounts are mirrored somewhere, and I hope people understand that. But I get those. I've gotten a couple messages from you, saying that they'll give me a reading, and I message you. I think you've got some fakes out here, and they're really really clever about changing the name. Just they add a dot, or they add an underline, or they add an I where you can't see that there's an I in there. And misspelled ethical, or something like that.
I got one. I found one yesterday that said the official ethical psychic. So I reported them, and TikTok said, "Oh no, we're not doing anything about that one. We didn't find anything wrong with that." I'm like, really? But it's not me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're using my picture.
Do they use your videos? Because they're copying your videos and putting them on.
The videos, I guess.
Yeah, people are using my videos. They're using my picture, and then I guess they do that so that they can try to scam people out of money for fake readings. I mean, they're not good psychics if they're doing this.
No. Well, they're machines. Like I had a Gia imitator message me and say, "Would you mind? I see some stuff I'd like to read you." And I said, "Yeah, I would mind. Why would you do this?" And I just reamed them out. And then I got, "Okay, great. When would you like me to do the reading?" So it's just an automated response. Like it's not a human. It's not even.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was a good learning for me because I was like, I just lambasted them and I got like, "Awesome. When would you like me to?"
Yeah. Well, it's like the guys that go, "Can I ask you a question? Hi, beautiful."
Yes.
Hi, beautiful. Can I just ask you a question? At first, I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" When I first started on here, and now I'm like 9,000 ones later. I'm like, "Oh God."
Are we on Plenty of Fish? This is not a dating
I
site.
know. I know. I'm like, just ask the question. Why are you asking me if you can ask a question?
Exactly. But guys, we're gonna have sugar daddies for months if we start responding to these.
What would you do if I gave you $10,000 right now? Just tell me. You're like,
I actually had a woman reach out to me and say, "Have you ever been a sugar baby?"
Nice.
She was offering to be my sugar mama.
Nice.
Hey,
I was like, "Don't tempt me."
I'm glad to hear there's diversity in the scamming world,
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know. Worse things. Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, I guess we should call it a night.
Yeah, it's almost
And
midnight.
thank you, everybody. This has been so much fun. And so we got to do it again.
Amazing.
And everybody, please follow all these creators. They are all dreaming women. They are all helping us move forward on this bumpy path. So everyone sleep well, have nice dreams, write your dreams down, and share your dreams. I was told we should all be sharing our dreams, even with the people that don't believe in dreams. We should be
I like
sharing
that.
them.
Mm.
I love that.
I'll be driving to LA tomorrow.
Oh, you will? We should go meet for coffee or something.
Maybe on my way back because ultimately I'm going to Northern California. So
Oh,
I
okay.
could
You're
go
just
through
passing
LA,
through.
but I'm being rerouted because of the fires to go up and over. I don't know. We'll see, but I'll keep you posted. Yeah, I would love
Yeah,
to
it's
meet.
going to be hard to go north from here. All the fires in the north.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. The whole
Well, thank
pass.
you for having me pop up. This has been great. Thank you. It's great meeting you too as well. I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it.
What a lovely surprise. Great to meet you.
Yeah. You have a great voice. You should do radio if
Oh,
you're
thank you.
down.
I used to. I was a TV host for many years.
Oh
I
my
still
God,
do
you
some
have an
voice work.
amazing voice. Like,
Thank you.
wow.
Thank
Okay,
It's going to
good.
sound great in the documentary, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
You need
that's
a voiceover
right.
artist.
Oh, I
That's me.
really
I got
should
a
meditate
studio
on
at
that
home.
because it keeps coming up. I want to think about that.
And I have another project I'm seriously going to reach out to you because I've got, and it's a very divine feminine topic that's been rattling around in my brain for a while, which could,
Wow.
yeah. Anyway, we got to talk.
Yes,
Look at
I'd
us
love
wheeling and
to.
dealing.
Love to. All right, you guys have a wonderful
Take care.
night. Thank you.
Take
Mwah.
care.
Bye. Thank
Love you
you.
all.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. I
Night.
don't know how to disconnect. How do I do it?
I don't know.
I've
There's
never
a little like power button in the top right.
found it.
I know. I it took me a while to learn it. I wanted to make one last announcement. I take these recordings of these lives and I put them on YouTube. So if you want to see the replay, go to my YouTube at Jennifer Lisa Vest. And I will see you. I've been doing lives mostly every night at 6. I'm not going to be doing one tomorrow night at 6 because I'm going to a full moon circle. But it is the full moon, so everybody should do something. I'll see you. I'll see you when I see you.